snap it ahead. Walker out of the box, drives the goal, and a save is made. And he's down, though. The puck coming back the other way. 27 seconds left, and McDavid's on the ice. He brings it in. Goes behind the net. Centers and scores. Inside the post between the skates. They find Carey, and the Oilers with a dagger to the Blues with 19.7 to go in the third.
I thought our effort was good. I thought we battled hard. Obviously, we didn't do a good enough job of checking McDavid, and we didn't do a good enough job of defending our net front. I didn't think we did a good enough job of getting to their net front. I thought the net front battle was the difference in the game.
Let's get nasty on a Thursday. It's a Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. 2:02 your time check, brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. With Kerry Davis and Andrew Marsh, I'm Anthony Stalter. That was some of the devastating sounds last night from Chris Kerber on the Blues Radio Network right here on 101 ESPN. It was the final call last night of the 4-3 loss to the Oilers. And you also heard head coach Jim Montgomery discuss the Blues effort and maybe some things that went wrong for them. When the play happened live, I was waiting for a penalty shot. I was waiting for a penalty shot. When Walker went down, I'm like, oh great, this is perfect. Get a penalty shot. Obviously not a penalty though. I mean, live it felt like something was coming.
It did. And then when you look back at it, he got stick.
Yep.
He got stick. He did, take him down on the backside of his skate. But he got stick, and that's not a penalty, and it's unfortunate. But at the end of the day, you can't let them score.
No.
You have 20 seconds. Get a point.
Mm-hmm.
Get a point. Match Calgary.
Yep.
How many games is it that we've seen goals within the last 30 seconds of a period?
Too many.
Like it feels like we talked about it a couple of games ago.
Mm-hmm.
I've spoken to James. Like we continue to not close out periods. I was going to say quarters. Not close out periods and not allow. You have to close. You have to find a way. There's been a couple of times where you could have won the game and it was forced into overtime. This time you lost the game, which should have gone into overtime. That to me is it's very frustrating. I'm sure it's frustrating for the coaching staff. I'm sure it's frustrating for the players. But you got to find a way to clear that puck out of your zone. I know you don't want to have a face-off in your own zone, but you can't allow these things to continue to happen. Like, you got to find a way.
Yeah, you can't. I mean, there was a couple of goals that were scored last night that were right in front of the net. I mean, the one where it wasn't cleared out. I think it was Falk who got his pocket picked on the one
twice.
Yeah, that was rough. I mean, that's
what are you doing?
Binnington was still in position, but it was such a quick shot that he there was really nothing he could have done on that. Now that also hit the post and bounced out. There was too many mistakes again last night from a turnover standpoint for the Blues that cost them an opportunity to potentially go to overtime.
That second goal, I think it was, I was watching Tyler Tucker look like he was gassed. Mm-hmm. And then they ended up icing the puck, so they obviously couldn't change. And I was like, they're going to score. Because those players, that group had been on the ice for, it felt like a minute and a half, 2 minutes. And then they iced it, and then they were still out there. And I'm like, yep, and then you score. So it just, not being able to clear the zone, not being able to change, some things just weren't able. And I mean, Connor McDavid is really good. That's I don't know if you know that, Anthony.
I've read a couple things on him.
You watch that guy, he'll show you a thing or two.
Yeah, he returned from injury. He tallied 3 assists, including that game-winning setup with 21 seconds remaining in the third period. He had missed 8 games. 8 games with a lower body injury. He was a last-minute addition to the lineup.
That's some gamesmanship. Because even Jamie said it when we said, McDavid and Draisaitl are out.
Yeah.
Really, surprise.
I don't blame him. If you're going to do it, that's the way you do it. He feels good enough to come back. You make sure that you don't announce it. Connor Brown scored twice, including the game winner. He praised McDavid too. True embodiment of a captain. So that was kind of a circle the wagons moment for the Oilers, who win 4-3. They end the 2-game skid. I don't know how you guys feel. Thoughts on last night's game? So you lose back-to-back games now. There's 2 ways to go here. There's 2 ways I feel as though maybe Blues fans are looking at it. One is the hit the panic button. You had the 12-game winning streak. You got back into it. You were in a great spot, and now you've lost back-to-back games. So the thought is doom. The other thought which is kind of where I'm at, is you had 2 games against, one, the top team in the Western Conference, and a legit Stanley Cup contender, one that obviously lost in the Stanley Cup Finals last year. And you could have easily won both games had you not had the amount of turnovers and mistakes that you had. It's part of the game, which is why you lost the 2 games. But it's not like you didn't belong on the same ice as those 2 teams, which at times, if I'm being honest, is how I've thought about the Blues over the last couple of years. You don't have the talent. You don't have the top-end talent. You don't have the defense. You don't have this. You don't have that. You don't have the structure in place. You don't belong on the same ice as some of these top contenders. I did not feel that way watching these 2 games. Despite the losses, they're frustrating. But my thought is right now, you can go toe-to-toe with the best in the conference. You just got to find ways to win.
Yeah, you can. I think this is kind of a trend that we've been seeing, though, like going back to like the Detroit game. Like, I don't think they've been playing their best hockey. And when the Blues are playing their best hockey, they're playing detailed hockey. And when I watch Justin Falk spin around and throw a no-look backhand pass behind the net that gets picked off and leads to a goal, that's not detailed hockey. So that frustrates me. But yes, at the same time, I don't think they're playing that great of hockey compared to what they were playing, and they're right there, right? They're right there. They're keeping games close.
Let it out. You seem frustrated today. Let it out.
Well, I am, because I'm not like, oh, doom and gloom, like whatever. But it is frustrating because it's little plays. Like, I don't see the other team beating the Blues. I see the Blues beating themselves. You know, going back to the Winnipeg game, 2 of their goals were dumb turnovers. And then last night, same thing. It's frustrating, especially like what Carey brought up with the not closing periods out. Like, what? Come on, man. Like, we're in a playoff push. You have not clinched a spot yet.
Right.
Like, you got 2 games left. If Calgary wins out, let's see, they're at 88 points. If they win out, they have 4 games left. That's 8 points. That's 96. If Blues win both games, then it looks like they're in, right? But if
Blues, yeah.
You know, if they win one and lose the other, and they don't go to overtime, they only get 95 points, and Calgary somehow wins out. Now, I don't think they will, but if they do, you're not in the playoffs. Perhaps, unless Minnesota loses out.
Sure.
So it's like, let's take care of your business. You're 20 seconds away from getting a point. You match Calgary. Luckily, the Ducks, Cutter Gauthier, took care of business and made sure that the Ducks won that game last night. It's frustrating. I'm not here to say, oh, the Blues are out. Like, I'm the doom and gloom. But heading into the playoffs, I'd like to see them clean up their game a little bit.
Sure. Which I think is incredibly fair. But I am picking up. Because here's the thing. I wonder how many, and you can leave us a mic drop if you like. We'd love to hear from you. Leave us a Scott Lee Heating Company mic drop via the Dobbs Tire and Auto Center's 101 ESPN mobile app. Are you like Marsh? Are you in the Marsh camp? Where you're kind of frustrated now. 12-game winning streak. Man, that was fun, but you're still not in the playoffs. You're not playing great hockey. Some of the games you won, you didn't play great hockey. You got to turn this thing around. We also got, some comments from one in particular with Chester. The Blues had a bad injury at a bad time. This is going to take time to adjust. Deep breaths. They've had multiple injuries. To Chester's point, they've had multiple injuries now. You lose Colton Parayko. Remember that day? That was devastating. We did not expect them to go 14-1-1 without Parayko. They did. And now that they've lost a couple of games, I think maybe we refocus on the fact that they've lost not only Colton Parayko now, but Dylan Holloway. These injuries are starting to add up. But hey, if you take care of the puck better, maybe you get to overtime last night, and who knows, maybe even get to overtime against Winnipeg. If you can figure out a way to extend that game.
I did like they aren't quitting, they aren't giving in, they are fighting back. But again, you just have to find out a way. You got to sell all the way out at the end of game situations to not allow another goal under 30 seconds to either tie the game or win the game, send it in overtime, or send you home. That to me, if I could pick one thing at this moment, and maybe I'm a prisoner of the moment, but that has happened too many times. Like, you have to figure. And that, to lose a game in that fashion, it's not great.
Splashback Deuce brings up another. You talking about trending, like things that are troubling and trends. Splashback Deuce reminds us too. They allowed another 6-on-5 goal last night on that delayed penalty.
Yeah.
That delayed penalty was frustrating as all get out. I mean, just find a way to possess that puck, and yes, you're still on the penalty kill, but at least your penalty kill is out there.
Well, we had the conversation the other day about the Blues offense, right? And it just so happened that once we had that, they decided to not have any depth scoring. But the top line is the only line that is like contributing outside of the shorthanded goal from Suter last night.
Yeah, which was sweet, by the way.
It was sweet. But who was out there on that penalty kill? Robert Thomas and Pavel Buchnevich.
Yeah.
So it's your top guys that are scoring right now, which is what was happening early on, like earlier in the season, which was fine. But like at the same time, you need other guys to pitch in.
Yeah.
And right now, these past few games, you're not getting that. You're just getting production from your top guys. And I think that's because Dylan Holloway's out.
Yeah.
I think he changes everything for me. I know we'll get to that later.
Yeah, we will. We'll talk about Dylan Holloway's injury and the absence of Dylan Holloway and how that's impacting games as well. But again, if you want to leave us a mic drop, love to hear from you. Join in on the conversation today. Blues lose last night in Edmonton 4-3. Where are you on the Blues spectrum right now? Are you still like, you know what, I understand the situation for what it is. I still feel good about them making the playoffs, but we'll see. Or are you a little bit more frustrated because even in the Blues, some of the Blues victories during that 12-game winning streak, kind of like Marsh is saying, they need to clean up a lot of things. It's not just the injuries. So leave us a mic drop if you like. We'd love to hear from you at some point during the day today. With Kerry Davis and Andrew Marsh, I'm Anthony Stalter. We're watching somewhat of the best-case scenario for the Blues right now. If you were to look at this team, where they are now compared to where they were coming into the year, you feel really good. Regardless of how this ends, you feel really good about what we're seeing. It's kind of the best-case scenario in some respects when you're just looking at, like, the perspective of the Blues. So I ask this. What's the best-case scenario for the Cardinals this season? That's next on 101 ESPN. case scenario for the Cardinals this season. Now, World Series would be the best case scenario. Okay, so I'm not talking about like wins and losses, because 83 win season last year. Anybody impressed by an 83 win season last year?
Because I office was.
Yeah, that's true. The front office was blown away by their work last year.
They wanted you to know.
But 83 wins, not an impressive year, right? So I'm not talking about wins and losses. What I'm referring to really is how this season has unfolded for the Blues. At the start of the year, I think our expectations from a playoff standpoint was be one of the two wild card teams. I don't think that was a stretch. I don't think anybody else thought it was a stretch. I don't think that anybody really truly thought that they were a top 3 team in the Western Conference. So make the wild card. Be one of the two wild cards. As the season wore on, the more disappointed we got and frustrated we got as the Blues remained tethered to kind of a 500 record. But during the 12-game winning streak, it wasn't just about the 12-game. It wasn't just about the 12 wins. It was about who was contributing and what that meant for the future. So when we watch players like Zach Bolduc and Dylan Holloway when he was healthy, Philip Broberg, and now Dvorsky and Snuggerud, the continued maturation of a guy like Jake Neighbors, and even Jordan Kyrou and Robert Thomas, we feel great about this Blues team right now. We feel great about where they are because the future looks bright. So if we transition to the Cardinals, what do you guys think is the best case scenario for the Cardinals this season? Again, not talking about wins and losses.
For me, it's to see a healthy Lars Newbar. He's been healthy so far this year. Mm-hmm. Been doing a great job. To see Victor Scott continuing to prove himself both in the field and at the plate. I think we know what he was capable of in the field, but what he's doing at the plate has been, in some people's eyes, remarkable because we didn't have that high of expectations for him. I think the main thing is seeing these younger guys continue to prove themselves and be what we assumed they could be. Mm-hmm. And if you're able to do that, I think that's the best case scenario. I think the pitching is what it is. You can be frustrated. You can be mad at Roycroft. You can be mad at Fernandez. You can be mad at Fetty when he doesn't perform well, happy when he does. You can be mad at Miles Michaelis, but that's what it is right now. Those are the guys that are in your rotation. Those are the guys that are in the lineup. Those are the guys that are going to be playing. Best case scenario for me is even if the pitching stinks, you still get great play from your position players. Mm-hmm. And, hopefully at some point Wilson Contreras joins the party as well. But I'm not as frustrated, I think, as some people are, because I'm very impressed with the offense. Mm-hmm. That to me is surprise, surprise. Oh, that's wonderful. Not including yesterday. That wasn't, they didn't score enough. But the offense has been really good. So for me, best case scenario is you keep performing at that level, and then when these younger guys get their opportunities, they perform at that level as well. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about the upside of the offense. I think the best case scenario, at least in my opinion, is that some of these pitchers pitch their way out of the rotation and they can bring up the young players and figure out what they have in them sooner rather than later. So you don't have to keep pushing this timeline back. Like if these guys don't get reps, a lot of reps this season, well, then now you're waiting till next season to get them a lot of reps. And then you're just pushing the timeline back. For me, the best case scenario, honestly, is for the pitching staff to probably keep doing what they're doing and not being productive. Mm-hmm. So then the younger pitchers in AAA, McGreevy, Quinn Matthews, they can actually come into the rotation and we can get a look at what they look like at the major league level and then just go from there. Because I think that those two, I would rather see them pitch and get the same results if you're losing than watch what we're watching now. It's not fun to watch. I don't want to see it.
Yeah, I got you.
Sorry, I'm a little fired up.
You
today.
are. That's okay. That's good.
I have this energy drink that I'm drinking right now.
But that just hit you. Like that's just starting.
That is fair. Yeah, I woke up fired up.
Yeah, I think this is who you are today. I think that's great.
It's probably because of the loss last night.
I think you're pissed off about the loss. I think that's fantastic. Honestly, Marsh is usually not I feel like I'm the calm, rational one right now. It feels odd. But
can I offer Blues fans a little bit of a little chill pill?
Sure.
Where did the Oilers? How far did they make it last year?
Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Final.
Oh, so that means they're pretty
Kerry,
good.
they had five defensemen last night.
It is true.
We talked
They didn't have Leon Draisaitl.
We talked to Jamie, and he talked about championship pedigree, which is why he doesn't want to play the Vegas Golden Knights. Correct? Am I wrong? Am I right? All right. Okay,
you're right.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So, that team, they didn't win a championship, but they made it, right? You lost to the team that made it to the Stanley Cup Finals and lost in Game 7. Mm-hmm. You also lost to, I don't know, where are the Winnipeg Jets? How many points do they have? Are they
first place?
Okay. Calm the fast lane down. It's 2 games. You won 12. You lost 2 games to 2 of the best teams, one of the best teams, and one of the teams that played in the Stanley Cup Final last year. Mm-hmm. Calm the fast lane down.
Kerry, it's not about the loss. It's about
fast lane. Calm down.
Well,
It's about
you had
how
your turn.
you lost, right? It's disturbing.
It's
the
frustrating.
Trends.
I
The
get it.
trends.
No, I get
That's
it.
like saying, "Oh, well, Brandon Staley, you went for it on 4th down at the
Well, don't
your own
bring-
20-yard
don't you
line against the
bring Giff
Vikings
Smith
3
and
years
Brandon
ago,
Staley
but
into
you
this.
won the game."
You don't bring Brandon Staley and Giff Smith into this.
I never brought Giff Smith into this. You brought him in because you want him to be a star today.
When Brandon Staley lost his job, that's who took over.
We think.
Giff, I think that was them.
It's the trends,
I haven't
Kerry.
seen one photo of Giff Smith on
He's
the
not a
online.
real person.
It's Jeff Smith, Anthony. Get it right.
Giff Smith. Circling back, and we are taking your mic drops today, so if you want to tell CD to get bent, you can.
All right, cool.
Say, hey, I want to be ticked off today. That's fine. Circling back to the best case scenario this season for the Cardinals, if I may. If Mason Wynn has a Jake Neighbors-esque season, I'm okay with that. Jake Neighbors, I thought, had kind of a breakout season last year, right? Mm-hmm. Marsh, would that be fair?
Yeah.
Mason Wynn, breakout season last year. Jake Neighbors has not matched the production they had a year ago. It seems like there's something left to be a little to be desired. But you know that everything is still within him, and it's not. It wasn't just a one-season fluke. And he's starting to show a little bit more production. Like if that's the season that Mason Wynn has, I'm okay with that. But I think you have to have some breakout performances. The Blues had breakouts from Zach Bolduc, and even though they were with the Oilers last year, I think that Dylan Holloway has had a breakout season. The Cardinals need to have breakout seasons, certainly from Jordan Walker, and maybe even Victor Scott. That, if we're talking about best case scenarios, I'm thinking if Wynn just has a Jake Neighbors year, Walker, Scott, breakout years. If you want to throw Herrera in there from an offensive standpoint when he gets back healthy, great. Then, Marsh, to your point about the young pitching, if it winds up being a situation where by the end of the year, you see guys like McGreevy and Quinn Matthews enter the rotation and show flashes like Dvorsky and Snuggerud has shown flashes for the Blues, I would lump that into a best case scenario too. So really what we're talking about is by the end of the season, do we feel really good about the future or not? Because the Blues, I feel really good about I feel great about their future. Best case scenario for the Cardinals is by the end of the year, do I feel good about their future or not?
Wouldn't you want the young pitchers to be more at a Zach Bolduc level rather than a Jimmy Snuggerud and Dalibor Dvorsky?
No, because Bolduc had some time last year, correct? Correct me if I'm
fair.
wrong.
So did McGreevy.
Yeah. I feel like, how many games did Bolduc play last year? 12?
It's different,
15?
though. He was starting pitcher. It's every 5 days.
Yes.
But I think McGreevy only had, one start? Two starts?
He had 2.
I can't start. It's a fair question. I just can't start McGreevy's timeline if he's coming up at the end of the year.
That's my point. He shouldn't.
No, I can.
He should be up.
If
honestly, he should be up right now.
If that's the topic, if I were running the Cardinals, Miles Michaelis would not be here.
Right.
He would not be here.
Anthony.
Steven Matz wouldn't be here either. But we also have issues, and we're going to talk about this a little bit later on.
Yeah.
There's also one big issue too, and we'll expand on this later. But the one big issue is that there's not good arms right now in Memphis either. You're tantalized by 2 guys really, but I was reading Katie Woo's article, and she's talking about, well, Chris Roykoff, it might move him to a low leverage situation because, the other arms aren't popping in Memphis. That's a problem. Now, I know they still sent out Roycroft and they're bringing up Rodri Munoz, whatever. But that's a huge issue. We'll get into that a little bit later. I just felt like I was yelling there for a second.
You were.
We're all
I don't
fired
know who
up.
you were yelling at.
I don't either. I was kind of looking at Marsh, but I definitely wasn't
Yelling at clouds.
I think so. All right.
It's a little cloudy out. Maybe that's what it is. There's this giant cloud hovering above us right now.
It's supposed to be nice all weekend, too, right?
I think it's supposed to rain today.
Today.
Yeah.
But not this weekend.
I don't know. I don't look that far in advance, Anthony.
Yeah,
Know what's going on today.
Today is supposed to rain. Over the weekend, no. Saturday, Sunday is supposed to be great weather. So let's be pissy today.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then we'll get it out of our systems.
Yes.
And Friday, Saturday, Sunday will be fantastic.
Cardinals
All right.
got the Phillies. They can.
Oh,
we can
God. Okay.
Well, I was being positive.
Are you a Philly fan now?
No, I was being positive about the Cardinals. I was excited.
Carey probably saw that clip of the outfield of the Phillies not communicating, dropping the ball.
Huh?
Maybe he's thinking, hey, maybe they could do that all weekend.
Maybe.
And the Cardinals can squeak out a win or two.
Possibly.
You keep hoping, buddy.
Yep.
How do you know when it's time to move on from a coach? I wouldn't think it would be with 3 games left, and you had just won a championship 2 years ago. But I don't know.
Who knows?
We'll get in that conversation next on 101 ESPN.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. The Blues lose a late one last night in Edmonton, 4-3 the final. They'll take on the Seattle Kraken on Saturday, and you can listen to that game right here on 101 ESPN. Pregame starts at 8. Puck drop will be at 9. The Cardinals are off today, but they'll take on the Philadelphia Phillies tomorrow. First pitch is at 7:15. It will be Andre Palante on the mound for the Redbirds going up against Aaron Nola. Coming up next, we're going to dive into how do you know when it's time to move on from a coach. We'll discuss it next right here in the Fast Lane. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. See them at londoff.com. Chevy, together we drive. Are you kidding me?
It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN with Andrew Marsh and Kerry Davis. I'm Anthony Stalter. CD, the Denver Nuggets decided to fire their head coach with, 3 games left? Yep. Mike Malone was relieved of his duties with 3 games left. The Nuggets won a championship 2 seasons ago. Mm-hmm. When we talk about when the best time is to fire a coach, I highly doubt it's with 3 games remaining. When you kind of survey the scene in Denver and understand where the Nuggets are at, and maybe even looking back at what the Bucks did a couple of years ago, when you think about time, when it's time to move on from a head coach, 1, what do you think of this Nuggets situation? And 2, as a former player, how does the team know that it's just time?
That is the $1 million question. I don't know who really knows when it's time. And we often hear about a new coach bump, or we hear about that team had quit on that coach, and then the new coach is supposed to come in and give you everything you need in order to be successful. But that's not always the case. That's not how it always happens. In this situation with Mike Malone, I don't know what the hell happened. I don't know. I know the GM also got fired. Yeah. So they fired both of them. And from what I've heard is even Jokic said that he was they let him know, I guess, a couple of hours before it actually took place, and gave him the reasoning why they were removing both the GM and the head coach. Mm-hmm. To do it with 3 games left, I don't understand why you do it. But then you look at another situation. I was talking about Adrian Griffin, who got fired last year from the Milwaukee Bucks. He had won 30 out of their 43 games. Like, he had almost a 70% winning percentage, and you fired him. The Bucks have 45 wins right now. He had 30 last year, and they have played almost all 82 games. So when you fire a coach, I don't know. I don't know what goes into it, and I don't know why some people just automatically assume that means that team is going to get a bump from the new coach. I was looking at a coach, Jim Montgomery, you heard him?
Former NHL player that's now the head coach of the St. Louis Blues.
Yeah, where was he at before the Blues hired him?
Yeah, Boston. Immediately before was the Boston Bruins.
Did they fire him?
They fired him, back in November.
Okay, well, the Bruins they must be in playoff contention.
Yes, they are. They are, I think, first place in the Eastern Conference.
Boston Bruins?
Yeah.
Man, I think they're dead last, Anthony.
Oh, I didn't refresh the page.
Yeah.
Up there they are. 73 points, dead last.
Dead last. Mm-hmm. How'd they do? Finish dead last?
Dead last.
Had a good day.
Had a nice day.
So it's always intriguing because, and to bring this full circle, we talk about Ali Marmol often. Like, Ali needs, not us, but people, fans, always texting in and sending the mic drops. Ali is terrible. He needs to be fired. This group could be much better. Do you think the Boston Bruins felt like when they got rid of Jim Montgomery, they would be much better? That's the reason they fired him, isn't it?
You would have to think that was their belief, yeah.
Jim Montgomery has been awesome here. So it's not always the coach. Sometimes the players stink. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't matter who you try to bring in to lead them. They just stink. So for me, the decision on when to fire a coach or how to go about it, you have to really dig deep and figure out what the systematic problems you're having as an organization. Is it truly just lack of leadership? Because I look at the Denver Nuggets, and I highly doubt that situation was a lack of leadership, seeing as how that same man helped them win an NBA championship 2 years ago.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the Milwaukee Bucks, who have Giannis and Dame Lillard, and they fired a coach that had won 30 games because, I don't know, they didn't like him. They brought in Doc Rivers, who has won an NBA championship, but he ain't done much better with the same group of all-stars and future Hall of Famers. Mm-hmm. So it's to me, trying to figure out or trying to decipher when you fire a coach or when you move on from a coach, I don't have an answer for it, because it's not always as simple as, get a new voice in there, that team will be better. The Boston Bruins are a prime example. Like, it can literally go either way. The Blues needed a new voice. The Bruins, maybe they didn't. Like, they stink. And you fired that head coach, and now he's here and performing. The team is performing really well.
CD, I know you, and I know the way you think, so I feel like you're going to remind Ryan of the big picture message to what you're saying, but I'll throw out this comment here. So here's Ryan Crawford from the Snake Pit. He says, so you think Ollie's doing good? 3 question marks.
I think Ollie is doing the job that is in front of him with the players that are given to him. I don't think Ollie told Roycroft to go out there and throw balls and walk the bases loaded and then give up a double or end up being a single to end the game. I don't think Ollie told Ryan Helsley, hey, you know what I want you to do? I want you to blow this save opportunity in Boston. You can do it. I believe in you. I don't think Ollie told Nolan Arenado, hey, you know what you should do? When that ball is hit softly to third base, you should try to score. You got enough speed. I don't think he told him that. Now, I'm not in the in the clubhouse, but I would bet good money that that's not what he told him. So, again, it's not always on the coach or the manager. There are times where the players have to do what they are being coached to do and have to think the game through and play the game the right way. Mm-hmm. Like, it's not as simple as saying, get a new voice in there, they'll be better. The Boston Bruins ain't better.
Yeah.
And they got rid of a damn good coach. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So
I think you almost have to, I think you almost, CD, I agree. One, I think you have to separate the two things, too. The evaluation specifically of the coach or the manager and how that coach and manager is working with your roster. I'll give you a perfect example. Let's take Eric Spoelstra from the Miami Heat, right? Mm-hmm. When Miami had LeBron, they had the big three. They had LeBron, Chris Bosh, and Dwayne Wade. Mm-hmm. Eric Spoelstra was almost viewed as like the guy that's just driving the Ferrari. Yeah. That's it. Miami knew they had more, though. They knew they had more in Spoelstra because he had grown up through the organization. The way that he was, they talked about him studying the game. He was the one in charge of kind of dissecting the film for Pat Riley. And, he almost became a scout, and he understood the way that Pat Riley wanted to do things. So they knew they had more. So when that roster was eventually broken up, they stayed with Spoelstra, who's done a remarkable job with different rosters.
He's been back to the finals twice.
He's been great.
Yeah.
So I think you almost have to separate at times what you're getting out of a manager or coach in relation to the roster. Is Ollie Eric Spoelstra? Doesn't look like it. But he also doesn't have the roster.
He also don't got LeBron James and D. Wade.
No, he doesn't. Or Jimmy Buckets.
Would probably be really good even if they were playing baseball.
So I'm not saying this to poo-poo what Ryan is saying, because Ryan ultimately might be right. Ollie might not be the right guy for the job. I think Kerry, I don't want to speak for you, but I think where I get a little like, why are we so definitive with Ollie sucks, get him out, when we also complain about the roster? Roster's not good enough. And Ollie sucks.
Ryan is in the snake pit pretty much every day. I don't think he listens, though, because he said, so now it's the players. Hell, I've been saying that.
Yeah, you have.
I don't think you listen, to me at least. Maybe you tune me out when I talk, and that's fine. Mm-hmm. But I have literally said, hell yeah, it's the players. As a former player, Anthony, I almost called you Coach. Anthony.
You can call me Coach.
Coach
I
Anthony.
coach first grade flag football.
Coach Stalter.
Yeah.
When Ron Turner was my head coach at Illinois, he got fired 2 years after I left. Like, I was no longer there. I called that man and apologized to him. Literally. I felt horrible. I wasn't even on the roster when he got fired. But I felt like my team, me being the captain of that team that went 1-11, set him up for failure in the future. I apologized to a man that got fired 2 years after I left because I felt like my team, my teammates, my past teammates, my former teammates that were still on the roster let him down because I knew he could coach his ass off. I knew he could. Illinois had the top 3 offenses in Illinois history under his regime. We sent 11 guys. Kurt Kidner.
I mean,
we had 4 receivers go to the NFL. We had 10 guys on our offense get drafted or play in the NFL.
Yeah.
On the team that won the Big Ten championship. Hell yeah, it is. He didn't stink at coaching. We stunk as players.
Right.
And so if you're being honest, it's not always the manager now or the coach. Now, are there times where, it has run its course and it's time to move on? But at the end of the day, the players don't do their job well enough, and it gets people fired. You can make all the excuses for who Ali is and what he isn't. But if the players were winning at 100 wins a clip, nobody would be saying, fire the manager. They'd be like, don't change anything.
Right.
So it is on the players on the field.
Marsh, I know you got something here, and I do want to hear your thoughts. I got to address this. So Ryan comes back, and he mentioned this a couple times. Ryan from the Snake Pit says, so why is having Contreras batting second makes sense? Because he referenced the batting average right now. Come on, man. Ryan, let's put down the weapons here for a second, okay? Let's just talk. Baseball is a long-term play, okay? I think us in St. Louis, because we're so passionate about baseball, we're so we watch every game, we live and die in every game, that we forget that baseball is the long term, right? The baseball is a big picture sport. It's not unlike the stock market. Stock market just crashed. If you just join the stock market, you're living day to day, you're panicked. You're pulling your money. You're freaked out. You're freaked out. Ah, my money!
Not everybody.
If you have the big picture in mind, you know the stock market will eventually come back up. It's the long-term play. So with Wilson Contreras specifically, you know Wilson Contreras is one of your best hitters. Removing him out of the 2-hole because he's hitting 102 after 2.5 weeks
I think you
is a short-term play.
I think you gave him a little bit more than what he's batting.
Okay, whatever. But the bottom line is
Wilson. It is 102.
102. Wilson Contreras can hit.
I prefer 101, Anthony.
ESPN.
We're not. There you go. We're not. We're not talking about Michael Ciani with no track record being left in the 2-hole at 102. Again, I'm just saying, different perspective on this. Baseball's 162 games. If we're living and dying on every single game and we're reactionary to every single game, you're not going to make it.
So when people make comments, I don't know if that was, well, I won't. Never mind. Because I didn't know if that was being sarcastic or if that was being honest. So we should fire Monty for losing the last 2 games.
That was sarcastic, I'm sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I thought it was Ryan, so I thought. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Okay. Can I push back a little bit?
Absolutely.
Push.
Please.
So, it is a long-term play, but why can't you move him a little bit lower in the lineup or put him, in front of somebody who's been, hitting a certain way? Like what? Him hitting in the 2-hole versus him hitting 5th, is that going to change things?
One, I don't actually think he's a 2-hole hitter. So if you want to take a real step back, I don't think he should have been in the 2-hole at all.
Okay, so there's a complaint from you.
What I'm saying is, Ali, I'm viewing this as Ali feels like he is a 2-hole hitter. And he's one of the best hitters in the team. So who are you talking to, me or Ollie right now?
Well, I'm just talking to you because you brought it up. Hey, it's a long-term play.
Yes.
But he's going to be hitting regardless. If you're trying to get the most out of your team right now, maybe you do move him back a little bit. You don't have to bat him 7th or anything like that.
Yeah.
But move him back a little bit. Maybe he starts seeing different pitches because other guys are hitting differently. You know, the way that somebody's hitting behind you affects the way that you're pitched to, right?
It can.
It can.
Sure. So what do you do then? You're going to move him to 5th?
Okay, let's move him to 5th.
All right. And he starts hitting 500.
Perfect.
And leave him there.
You leave him there?
Yep.
That's where he's having the success, right?
Then that's fine because that's where you're finding the most success from him.
What if it's costing you extra at bats now? So now he gets 4 at bats instead of 5.
Well, then that's when you tinker with the lineup and you have. It's not like you can't have a fixed mindset, right? You can't just be like, well, he's eventually going to hit. Just tinker with it a little bit. Like, figure out what works. We're early on in the season, to your point. It's early on. Try and figure out, okay,
Sure.
maybe he works better here. Let's just get his bat going. Maybe he's seeing different pitches. Because right now it seems like he's trying to do too much. He said that he's seeing bad pitches.
Do you know who used to do that a lot? Who? Mike Matheny. You didn't hit the day before, and you're a young player. Not even Contreras. You're out of the lineup the next day.
I never said he had to take him out of the lineup.
I understand that, but he's Contreras. He's
Yeah.
one of your leaders. This is where managing comes in. This is not just I'm putting a lineup together, because quite frankly, the lineup doesn't mean as much, right? Which I guess to your point, then you can move these guys anywhere you damn well please. But if you're creating the culture of, hey, you can only hit second if you're hitting 500 for me. What message are you sending?
But that's not my point.
What's your point?
I would have the conversation, hey, let's move you down a little bit. Let's see if you can get some different pitches, a different pitch selection. We'll see if we can get you going. And if you start, hitting better, we're gonna move you up. Like,
So
we want to get you going though.
You're an opposing pitcher, right? And you're going up against Contreras. How much is changing from the second hole to the 5th hole for you as an opposing pitcher?
Well, if there's a guy behind Wilson Contreras who's knocking the cover off the ball, right?
Isn't somebody behind Contreras right now knocking the cover off the ball?
He's Brendan Donovan. Brendan Donovan's not a home run hitter.
Okay, but if he goes to 5th, now who do you got? Jordan Walker?
I'm throwing examples out there, Anthony.
Okay. Well, I understand, but
we'll keep him at second. He can keep batting 100.
Oh, that was spite.
I think the big picture conversation here is like, it's not as easy to come back to CD's main point. It's not as easy to just say, I'm going to make these moves after just 2 weeks.
And you're not just managing
when you have
player.
a player that's been one of your best hitters for years now.
Right.
For sure.
And it all depends, too. Like, Wilson Contreras' bat speed is the same as it's been over the last couple of years. He's extending the zone. So if you're Ollie, you're watching this, and his bat speed's on point, and he's just merely swinging at bad pitches, and it's maybe a game or two where he's going to lock back in. I'm not going to yo-yo him all around the lineup. That's just my opinion.
Anthony, you continue to lose ball games though.
Because your pitching sucks.
You think you're losing ball games because Wilson Contreras hitting second?
I'm just.
I'm asking.
No,
because I don't.
It's not. But maybe tinker with it just a little bit. That's all I'm saying. Like, try and figure something out because this clearly is not working. Him batting second.
The lineup has been fine. Other than that, I wouldn't. I mean, I get it. I would tinker with the pitching staff before I tinkered with the.
Obviously.
Just saying.
But we're kind of up against it.
Yeah, that's all right.
The other point that I had.
We got other shows on here that are up against it all the time.
The other point that I had about when we were bringing up the pitching and like some of the things, and I don't want to speak for St. Louis, but I think sometimes my gripe with Ollie, and it's not always, but
Ryan, you're not winning. You're not winning because your pitching sucks. You know this. You know this, Ryan. Ryan, you're not winning with him batting second. Ryan, I know you know this. You're diehard. You're a diehard fan, Ryan. You're not winning because your pitching is garbage.
That's the point.
You know this. Go ahead, Marsh. I apologize. Sorry.
So, like I said, I don't want to speak for St. Louis. I don't always, have beef with Ollie by any means, but I think that, we look at a game and we're like, well, why is Roycroft coming in here? It's like, well, who else is he going to throw in there? I'm not looking at his decision-making from, that specific game. I'm looking at it from, a couple days ago. How you structure your bullpen days before is the reason why you have to throw Roycroft in that situation. When you take pitchers out at a certain time, it's just there's different moves, small moves that happen games before that lead into games situations that happen 2 or 3 games later. It's almost to me, it's like there's this snake eating itself. It's the player's fault, but it's also they're a team, right? That's players and managers. Certain situations, certain decisions, whether it's on the field or it's in the dugout, affect what happened in game and also what happens 2 or 3 games later. And I think that maybe is where some of the frustration comes when it comes to Ollie Marmol. Just my opinion, though.
But I think it's a short-sighted. I appreciate I think it's short-sighted because one thing you did not mention was the fact that they had a rain out on Saturday, which also impacts the decision.
For sure.
Which I think, again, is the point of.
But I'm not specifically talking about these last 3 days or this last week. This has been a thing for 3 years.
Okay. Well, listen. Hey, I'm going to say something that's going to make you and Ryan and Ollie Marmol detractors happy. Let's get rid of him, and let's replace him
with Jim Montgomery,
with somebody else within this organization that doesn't know what they're doing.
I'm not. The team is the roster's not great, Anthony. I understand that. I understand that.
There's nobody coming to save you.
And I'm not here to say let's fire Ollie, but I think some people who have issues with some of the decision making aren't crazy by any means. That's my point.
No, and if you're thinking we're just saying you're crazy, no, nobody's saying that. I think Carey and I are hey, let's take a step back. Let's take a big picture view here. And it's we're coming back to things like Wilson Contreras batting second. All right, let's take a step back. Let's do the big picture. Well, he took Fetty out in the seventh with a no hitter. Okay, you're specifying very specific things here. I think what we're just trying to get is the big picture view. But Carey, you and I are doing a poor job of that.
Clearly.
All right. So break. Let's do what's trending next.
Yes.
All right. Next on 101 ESPN. I love playing Underdog Fantasy. If you haven't tried it out yet, download the app. I got a promo code for you. But if you're playing NBA, NHL, if you're doing maybe some Masters, which is going on right now, Underdog Fantasy is the spot. To play, just choose whether a player will go higher or lower on their stats. So if it's basketball, obviously we're talking about points, assists, rebounds. If you're talking about NHL, you got points, you got goals, you get it. You can play for as little as $1. If one of the players that you choose goes down in the first period or the first quarter, Underdog will even give you your entry fee back because they know it wasn't fair that one of your players got injured early and your play got completely snubbed. Underdog is fantastic. Millions of fans have already won billions making plays on Underdog, and their app has over 100K 5-star reviews and millions of players. You're going to love playing it. Just download it. Download the app and sign up using my promo code Anthony to unlock that special offer of up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you make your first deposit. Join in on the fun when you sign up with promo code Anthony. Claim your special offer today and get up to $1,000 in bonus cash instantly upon your first deposit to Underdog Fantasy. Must be 18 plus, 19 plus in Alabama and Nebraska, 19 plus in Colorado for some games, 21 plus in Massachusetts and Arizona, and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Void in Colorado. Concerned with your play, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org. In Arizona, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT STEP to 53342. In New York, call the 24/7 Hope line at 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY to 467-369.
topics in the sports world?
What in the wide world of sports is going on here?
It's time to find out with
What's Trending? Brought to you by Elite Comfort Experts. Heating and cooling with no gimmicks, just guarantees. EliteComfortExperts.com.
Welcome back to the Fast Lane here on 101 ESPN with Anthony Stalter and Kerry Davis. I'm Andrew Marsh, and it's time for What's Trending. Gentlemen, the Frozen Four is finally upon us. We have Denver going up against Western Michigan. Penn State going up against BU tonight in the semifinal, and the championship game will be on Saturday. And of course, it's being hosted right here in St. Louis. I know how dialed into college hockey you two are, so I'm going to ask you, who do you believe will make it to the national championship on Saturday and win? And
what are my choices?
yeah, so you have Denver, who
Is Boston in it?
Boston University is in
Boston.
it. So you have Denver, who is just an absolute wagon.
Okay.
They're taking on Western Michigan, which I know.
No, the hell with them.
You don't like them.
No, I don't like them one bit.
So I'm assuming you're going to go with Denver.
What do you mean, what? That's our biggest rival.
But you're not playing them. You don't have conference pride?
Conference pride?
Oh,
no,
my
I hate
goodness.
Western Michigan.
You don't have pride in your conference. You speak all day and night about the damn MAC. Every Tuesday and Wednesday during football season, Marshy and I got to hear about some damn MACtion.
Damn right.
And now you got an opportunity for MACtion in the Frozen Four, and
This
you're
isn't
not.
MACtion.
If you told me if a MAC team is playing, it's always MACtion.
No, if a MAC team is playing on Tuesday nights, it's the most hardest.
What's today?
It's
They
Thursday.
can carry it over to Thursday. They already do it on Wednesday.
Nah.
Nah?
Kerry, I hate
That's
to
a
burst
shame.
your bubble, but there's no MAC
Oh.
in college hockey. Western
Thank
Michigan,
you.
part of the NCHC. So
See, they abandoned the MAC.
yeah, they don't have that.
Western
College hockey
Michigan.
a little bit different.
Why don't you just go ahead and root for Northwestern or Ohio State?
I did root for Ohio State to win the national championship.
And you know what? I thought you
Did
were
they win?
disgusting then.
Did they
and I
win?
think you're disgusting now, Carey.
Did they win?
Yeah, they won.
All right. Best team in the land, weren't they? I got conference pride, Anthony. I know what you call that.
I got
Nonsense.
conference pride, unless it's Western Michigan.
That's ridiculous.
So you going with Denver, Anthony?
I'm going with Denver.
They're a wagon.
Give
They're a
me
wagon.
the
Pioneers,
baby.
All right, so you have them beating Western Michigan. We have Penn State and Boston University. Penn State, first Frozen
It's a Big
Four.
Ten team.
First Frozen Four, though, in program history.
Give me Brady Kachuk's Boston Braves.
Not the team name.
Damn it.
Boston Terriers.
Boston, give me the Boston Terriers.
I think I may have to change my pick now.
You going with Penn State, Kerry?
Little Penn State. Big Ten pride, Anthony. Something you do not know nothing about.
Big Ten pride? I do not know.
MACtion pride. Give me the Nittany Lions.
Okay. Give me Denver to win it all.
Ah, you're terrible.
That's a good pick.
Thank you. Give me those Pioneers.
If I had to choose what I would want the national championship matchup to be, it'd be Denver and Boston University. Hoping that BU would win. Actually, I hope any team other than Denver wins, just because I'm a North Dakota guy.
Yeah.
And they have more
a big
championships. Yeah, no, they got more championships than we do now. And I'm sick of seeing them win. But man, they're a hell of a hockey team.
Yeah.
They always produce good players. Jim Montgomery, Blues head coach, used to be the head coach of Denver University.
No kidding.
Yeah.
And now look at him.
Now he's in the NHL.
Damn right.
So Frozen Four should be a fun one here in St. Louis, and that first game, starting up here, I believe in less than an hour. So should be a fun time at the Enterprise Center. Anthony, you do the spread zone. We got the Masters coming up. Did Tim give you a pick that you remember?
That's a good.
That will win the Masters.
The Masters going on right now. He liked. I know Riz and I were on Rory McIlroy. Tim said, I know he didn't go with Scheffler. I forgot who he said was going to win it all. I'm sorry.
Well, that's okay.
Oh, maybe Justin Thomas? Did he go with Justin Thomas?
JT.
I said Rory. I know that. I know Riz also said Rory.
Well, you know what people can do, Anthony?
They can tune into the Spread Zone.
They could.
They could download the Spread Zone wherever they download their podcast.
Yeah.
Hey.
There you go.
How about
Tim,
that?
Tim actually gave out a lot of different good nuggets. He had like this stat, this analytical stat that could tell you like the contenders, who the contenders were going to be.
So Mike Ryder, who remembers everything,
Yes, he
knows
does.
everything.
Damn right he does.
Justin Thomas was Tim's pick.
Oh,
so,
nice. Thank you. That's what I thought. Justin Thomas. All right. I knew Justin Thomas was one of the names. All right. We're going to bet the board next on 101 ESPN. It's a Fast Lane on 101 ESPN with Andrew Marsh and Kerry Davis. I'm Anthony Stalter. Time to bet the board. And we all did pretty well last night, huh, Marsh?
Yeah, this is the third time that we have all hit our picks this month. So if Somebody's out there and they like riding our picks for whatever reason, or maybe they like fading our picks, whatever that is. For the third time this month, all 4 of our picks hit. So if you wanted to throw that in a parlay, you're doing well right now.
That's awesome. But not, because I want you guys to lose. All right, not you, the listener, but you, Marsh, you, Carey, and you, Jamie. At least I'm honest. All right, so Marsh, are you up?
Yeah, I'm up now. We're all tied at 5. I'm going to take the Denver Pioneers over the Western Michigan Broncos. Money line at -140. So we shall maybe find that out by the end of the show.
That's a great pick.
Thanks, Anthony.
Is it on me?
Sure.
Give me Marcelo Zuna. 1.5 hits, runs, and RBI.
All right. I'm going to take the Winnipeg Jets and Dallas Stars under 5.5. 2 really good teams that can't score and don't want to score. So under 5.5. I looked at my phone. Weird pick from Jamie. He's taking the Anaheim Ducks. Wow. Plus 280 against the Kings.
Ooh-wee.
They're coming off a win last night.
His reasoning was they came off the win. He wanted to reward the Ducks by backing them. So he took the Ducks against the Kings.
That's cool.
Weird pick, but, hey. All right, Chris Kerber's going to join us next. We'll talk a little Blues hockey with him. Get his feeling on where this team is right now following the back-to-back losses. Kerb's next on 101 ESPN.
Hey, it's Kerry Davis, and if you are looking to replace those old drafty windows with energy-efficient ones from Window Nation, now is the time. Right now, you can get 4 windows free with every 4 you buy. You can get 0 interest, 0 payments for 2 years and pay nothing until 2027. And you get a free entry door when you buy a house full of windows. Window Nation's windows are built to protect your home with top-quality insulation and seals. And Window Nation's windows are some of the best windows you can buy insulated-wise. And if you want to reach out to them now, you can do so at 866-90Nation or visit them online at windownation.com. You need to hurry because that sale ends soon. Window Nation's windows come with a lifetime warranty, and that window can be installed in 1 day. So if you are looking to get some of the best windows around, reach out to Window Nation. Again, you can buy 4 and get 4 free. Pay 0 interest, 0 payments for 2 years. You'll pay nothing until 2027. And you get a free entry door when you buy a house full of windows. Reach out to them now, 866-90Nation, or visit them online at windownation.com.
Hey, did you know that one of the easiest and simplest and smartest things you can do to make sure that that air conditioning is running well throughout this summer is something as simple as just change that air filter. Change it once a month. Change it once every 5 to 6 weeks. And here's how Classic Air Care makes that really simple for you. And if you're like me, you kind of remember the size of it, or maybe you took a picture of it. You don't have to do that anymore. You go to the top corner at classicaircare.com. You'll see a little shopping cart. It says Shop Filters. You click on it, and you can sort by brand, size, model of your air conditioning unit. You can sort it by, whether it's for pets or not. All these different things. Go through and get your air filters at classicaircare.com. Now, also while you're on there, book an appointment to have them come out and maintain that unit. You should get it maintained once a year for the air conditioner side of it, whether you do it in the fall, whether you do it in the spring, but make sure that it's up and ready to go. Just like any of the oil changes or tire rotations on your car. Maintain the unit, and it will run well. And if it doesn't, if something breaks, which does happen with machines, they're going to be there to fix it. They've got experienced crews with over 40 years of experience for some of them fixing any kind of AC units, no matter what brand it is. So get online, go to classicaircare.com, get your filters, book a maintenance appointment, get a maintenance plan as well, and just make sure that your house is comfortable. It's really that simple. It's classicaircare.com. They've been making people comfortable since 1926.
It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. Kerry Davis and Andrew Marsh. I'm Anthony Stalter. Let's head to the Callier and Thompson phone line where we're joined by the voice of the Blues, Chris Kerber, right here on the Blues Radio Network 101 ESPN. Kerbs, how are you?
Anthony, doing well today. How are you?
Hey, last night, exciting game at times, frustrating finish. I kind of was hoping that we'd see a penalty shot at the end there with Walker, but clearly by the replay, not a penalty on that one. Did you at least feel in the moment that maybe a penalty shot was coming?
Yeah, it was. I didn't really see a replay that I liked on that one, but yeah, I felt that there definitely should have been something on that. Look, I thought the two officials in that game handled the very beginning of the game extremely well. I thought when they called Carey and Bennington for everything that they did, I thought that was good. And then I thought they were just awful the rest of the game. So, and I'm not surprised. You got a young guy, with more of a veteran guy, But look, guys, I'll say this: you didn't lose that game because of officiating. It could have helped you, but that's one of those scenarios where, unfortunately, with everything on the line and with so few games remaining, right? It's hard to keep big picture in mind. So I can understand some of the angst I've seen and felt today from fans. Having said that, if I told you that during any 25-game span of a regular season in pretty much any sport, you put a record of 19-4-2 together, would you take it? I mean, that's kind of that's the run that these guys are on right now. So unfortunately, they've kept Calgary alive. They put themselves in a position where if Saturday does not go well, or if you don't get some help, you could give Calgary an open door to control their own destiny, albeit a difficult one anyway. But shoot, I guess that's part of the fun of scoreboard watching right now.
Right.
Curbs, you talked about the last 25 games, and I have tried to calm these two down, and pretty much every listener that has texted in.
Me?
Yeah, you've been on one as well.
No, I haven't.
You have been. Curbs, he has been. They are very frustrated, but my point was you lost the last two games against a team that was in the Stanley Cup final last year and one of the best teams in the league in the Winnipeg Jets. To me, it is not as concerning as some people are making it out to be. Do you agree with that?
I totally agree with it, but that's why I said that the challenging part is it comes with 3 or 4 games to go in the regular season, and everything is on the line, right? I mean, you wouldn't even be blinking at those 2 games had you closed out 2 games earlier in the year at any point in time, right? So that's the challenge here. But yeah, look, you come off of a 12-game win streak. I did an interview with an Edmonton radio station, and yesterday or the day before. And, one of the topics that came up was, with the former NHL players, okay, how do you handle coming out of a streak? Well, what you tend to see happen, guys, is as streaks go along, you'll see habits wane. And you notice how those last 5 games of that streak looked a lot different than the first 7 games of that streak, right? And then you notice how maybe you pulled a couple of rabbits out of your hat to get those last 2 wins of that streak. But you're looking at the passing, and it's going just ahead of a stick. It's going in a guy's skate, right? You're looking at maybe not as much support around the puck. And I think that's what we saw in these last 2 games. And when you see that, even though I think they played decently well, you saw that against the number 1 team in the West in Winnipeg. And Carey's right. You saw that against a team that a year ago was in the Game 7 of a Stanley Cup final. So these 2 losses really don't surprise me at all. It just comes with a lot of acid reflux because everything's on the line. So the good news is they still control their own destiny, but they're going to have to take today and tomorrow to kind of get everything right, or at least as right as they can before heading into Seattle.
Kerbs, that first line is they're producing. Robert Thomas looks incredible. Pavel Buchnevich as well. Jordan Kyrou now up on that first line. What are you seeing from the rest of the forward group compared to what we saw earlier in that streak?
Well, I think you're seeing some of the line juggling issues, of some consistency. And by the way, that top line was producing pretty darn well with Jake Neighbors. It wasn't a 2. So to me, that tells you everything you need to know about Robert Thomas, and then Pavel Buchnevich getting his game back a little bit to where he wants it to be. So I think that's all quite a positive. Look, I still think we've seen the best of Pavel Buchnevich with Robert Thomas when Pavel is on the left and they got a shooter on the right. And if you talk to Pavel about that, he'll talk to you about what it was like to play with Vladdy on that right side. Obviously, you see Jordan Kyrou there a little bit. And having said that, look at how good they were with Jake Neighbors on the left. So, there's elite play to that. Look, your level of depth drops off a bit when you get to that second and third line. And that's okay. That's expected. But you're trying to work in Jimmy Snuggerud now. You played him in different spots. Dalibor Dvorsky, I think, only had 1 shift in the third period last night. You're working some young guys in there. Zach Bolduc's been kind of up and down the lineup depending on injuries and stuff. He's been very good. I think Oscar Sundqvist is probably playing his best hockey of the season. And Braden Shen is once again just consistently leading and being Braden Shen. So I think really it's just more of a result, not of we're not seeing as much there, Marshy, from, say, lines 2, 3, and 4. But I think it's really more a result of some of the mental fatigue of the grind of this run, the playoff push that they've been on, all this other stuff kind of coming together and just kind of slowing the team down a little bit. And yes, look, they missed Dylan Holloway in a big way. His speed, his 16 to 18 minutes a game, his physicality, you are not replacing that with anybody that's come into the lineup. So you're going to miss that. But I still think they can be very successful.
Chris Kerber joins us right now on the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Kerb, something just feels right when Jordan Binnington shoves somebody on their bleeping face when they're being a little too aggressive in the crease. I feel as though that all is right in the Blues universe when he does stuff like that. Do you feel the same way?
Listen, I think that Jordan Binnington over the last couple of years, he's matured more in the goaltending side of things, and it's good. But he is a fiery guy. I don't ever remember hearing people talk about Ron Hextall, who, by the way, had something like 500 career penalty minutes as a goalie, right? And they talked about his fire competitive nature. Look, this one is not worthy of bringing up some of the stuff that was brought up over the last couple of years with Jordan. Corey Perry knows exactly what he's doing. He runs goaltenders. He bumps them. It's no different. Nazem Kadri knew exactly how he was falling a couple of years in the playoffs. And if anybody's going to try to tell you otherwise, they're naive and foolish, right? Mm-hmm. And Corey Perry backs into Jordan Binnington, gets him in the head. He knew exactly what he was doing there, right? And then he jabbed him with his stick. And Jordan Binnington said, that's enough, and went after him. And I thought I was perfectly fine with what Jordan did. I love the antagonistic side of what Corey Perry did. That, to me, is all within the game of hockey, and then you just keep rolling. I just wish the Blues could have shoved it down their beaks and won it, but we'll just have to maybe see what happens in the playoffs. But I love it. Listen, he's a fiery guy, guys, and he should be. He should be. That's who Jordan Bennington is, and one of the reasons I'm a Bennington honk no matter what.
Curbs, can we expect Colton Parayko to be back in the lineup on Saturday, perhaps, or we have to wait a little bit longer?
Well, we're gonna have to wait. We're gonna have to wait to find out. I don't have a good answer for you yet on that one, Marcia. I know he was really eyeing. I think on a overly excited window, he was kind of eyeing maybe this past homestand. But I know for a few weeks he's been eyeing these last two games of the year. So we'll find out if it's Saturday or whether or not it's Tuesday. But I do expect him back in the lineup before the end of the regular season.
Curbs, we hope all is well with you. We appreciate the time, and we'll check back again with you next week as we get closer and closer, hopefully, to Blues securing a playoff spot.
Yeah, you know, they'll find out with Minnesota playing Calgary on Friday night. Tomorrow night, we could find out that the Blues have a great chance to clinch a spot by either just a win, a point, or what happens. So a lot of moving parts and great scoreboard watching, fellas. So
absolutely.
Have an enjoyable weekend, and we'll see what playoff scenarios we're talking about next week.
Same to you, Curbs. Thanks, man.
All right, see you.
All right, see ya. That's Chris Kerber, voice of the Blues, right here on your home of the Blues, 101 ESPN and the Blues Radio Network. I had mentioned this earlier in the show, but I was reading Katie Woo's recent article for The Athletic. She does a great job covering the Cardinals, and there's a portion of the article, there's a paragraph there that it made me scream, "This is the problem!" And no, it's not Ollie, although you should still fire him.
According to Ryan Crawford.
That's next on 101 ESPN.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. The Blues fall to the Edmonton Oilers last night in regulation in the dying seconds of the third period. 4-3 the final. We just talked with Chris Kerber, voice of the Blues, right here on the Blues Radio Network. If you missed that interview, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com or check out the free Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers 101 ESPN mobile app. Just head to the podcast page and you'll find all of our interviews and full shows there, and it's all brought to you by the Schaefer Door Company. The Blues will be back in action on Saturday, taking on the Seattle Kraken. It's a late one. Pregame starts at 8 o'clock. Puck drop is at 9. The Cardinals, they are not playing today, but they'll take on the Philadelphia Phillies tomorrow. First pitch is at 7:15. Andre Palante on the mound going up against Aaron Nola, and we're going to discuss your St. Louis Cardinals next. Where are all the arms? That's coming up next right here in the Fast Lane. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, an independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
It's Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. So I was reading Katie Wood's latest article for The Athletic, and this was before, of course, Chris Roycroft was sent down and Rodri Munoz was recalled from AAA Memphis. But I was reading the article, and she's talking about the Ivan Herrera injury and that impact. Wilson Contreras' struggle. He's, Marshy's batting 102 with 22 strikeouts. Probably should drop into 8th.
What? I said 5th, Anthony.
You got to drop him down, though. That's the bottom line. And then I got to this. Rookie Chris Roycroft. 7 appearances, runs allowed in 3 games. Walked 2 batters to start the 13th inning yesterday. Gave up the walk-off hit to Joey Bart. Marmol talked about, he's working on it. It's part of the adjustments. And before, again, the move was made, Katie recognized the situation as, well, maybe Roycroft could be moved to lower leverage situations. And here's why. Not many strong call-up candidates from AAA. Munoz was mentioned, so was Riley O'Brien, but neither of them or have been very impressive. I thought to myself, this is the problem. This is the big picture problem right now with the Cardinals. How do you not have young pitchers that can come up and get a taste of the big league level from a relieving standpoint? How do you not have that within your organization? And credit to the Cardinals, this is why they're trying to develop young pitching. This is why they're trying to go down the route of we're getting back to drafting and developing. That is that ultimately that should be the lifeline or the lifeblood of any organization. But I think this is how they've lost their way, guys. They've gotten to the point where a young man is struggling big time at the big league level, and they're like, well, maybe we could just move him to a lower leverage situation because the arms in Memphis aren't impressive either. They have got to restock this farm system with pitching that misses bats instead of some of these guys like, well, we'll pitch to contact or we'll get the ball on the ground. Enough. But if we're looking like big picture, this to me, CD, this is the issue.
How long does that take to find the pitching that misses bats? Because for the longest, it was known that this was a pitch to contact staff. Like that was the mindset, that was the philosophy. But that was also when you could have 18 men on one side of the base, right?
That was also, by the way, when you had Yadier Molina behind the plate and Dave Duncan in the dugout.
Yeah.
Like, you had a built-in advantage with those two guys.
How long does it take to shift that mindset and that philosophy to actually scouting? Because I know how to scout certain, you're looking for certain things, but if you're steadfast on looking for pitch to contact pitchers and now all of a sudden you have to evaluate swing and miss guys, your eyes have been trained on one type of philosophy, one type of pitcher for the longest, switching it over it's probably not that difficult, but I just want to know how long that process takes to get those guys in your system and to finally to develop them so that they're major league ready.
Well, it's interesting, CD. Really, it shouldn't take you long to find guys that can miss bats. But are they throwing or are they pitching?
Yeah.
Is there an art to the pitch? Or is there an art to developing the pitchers, or are they just throwing?
Jack Flaherty told me I don't know the art of pitching, so
I don't either. Well, he told all of us we don't know.
He's talking to
He's talking about you and I specifically. Yeah,
Yep.
I'm not going to pretend to know what the Cardinals are doing from a day-to-day developmental standpoint. I highly doubt they're just like, you know what, guys, F it, you're fine as is. I'm sure there's a development here, but when I hear that nope, there's not an arm that can come up right now because Chris Roycroft is struggling. That doesn't make any sense to me.
Well,
this is part of the You're right. You're right. This is where the Cardinals are right now.
If this is what you were scouting and developing,
you're right.
You can't. That would be like telling me, "All right, CD, I know you're a 4.6 guy. I need you to run a 4.4 now."
Right.
Wait, what? Tomorrow?
This is how God made me.
Like you drafted me as a 4.6 guy. You brought me here knowing that I can get you a 4.5. No, we need you to run a 4.38. Coach, with all due respect, I ain't got that in my repertoire. Nah, I'll stay out here all damn night.
You tell that to a corner.
I'll stay out here all damn night, but I probably ain't going to get it.
Yeah.
And I think that that's probably what you're running into. Like, if you scouted and developed and drafted guys that were pitch to contact, how long does it take? You're only 2 or 3 years into this philosophy, this shift.
You're not even that.
So how long? Then it makes sense to me when you're saying there's nothing down there that is vastly different from because we have been developing, we have been drafting and evaluating and developing to this mindset, and this is what we got. And the guys that we did draft or start to evaluate after are nowhere near being ready.
Marsh, hang tight. I want to answer this. So Splashback Deuce says it takes longer than an offseason since they changed their philosophy. Completely agree. I completely agree. Understand that what I'm saying is it's more rhetorical. Like, we spend so much time talking about the damn lineup and things that are not being done at the big league level. This is your problem. And this is why there needed to be a change in philosophy. So Splashback Deuce, completely agree. Understand that I'm venting my frustrations about the big picture here as opposed to we're in the minutia every single day of, they don't bunt enough. Okay. Like, go ahead, Marsh.
So do you think that this would have been a good season to keep those guys down in Memphis because of the lack of arms in Memphis, to keep like a Roycroft and whoever else you want to throw in that category? Keep them down in Memphis and then spend just a little bit of money on bringing in more bullpen help?
Man, that's a good question. No, because I got to see if I'm the Cardinals, I got to see what some of these guys have.
Well, now you know.
Now you know. Yes.
And it only took, 10 games?
Yeah.
It's still early, fellas.
Yeah.
First week of the season. Week and a half.
Hell with you, CD. I don't like that at all.
I don't like that type of argument because I've seen this for 2 years now. There's a track record, right?
Yeah.
I don't, it's it's a long season. No, you know what it's been? It's been a long 3 years. That's what it's been. I keep seeing a lot of the same stuff.
Which is why it had to change.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah. So, CD, to your question, it's going to take some time.
Yeah.
It's going to take some time.
It's just frustrating.
Probably 10 to 15 years. So
that's way too long.
I'm kidding.
That's way too long. You know what they should do, Anthony?
Should fire Ollie.
I'm not partaking.
Once you get Ollie out of here, dominoes are going to start falling.
It's ridiculous.
Marsh, that's a great point. Great point. Speaking of hot takes, why don't we play hot take or hot garbage? If you got a hot take, send it in. 314-399-9646. We'll play hot take or hot garbage next in the Fast Lane. take. It's Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Time to play Hot Take or Hot Garbage with Kerry Davis. Here's Andrew Marsh. Oh, me too. I'm here as well with Kerry Davis. I'm Anthony Stalter. Here's Marsh.
All right, Anthony, it's good to have you.
Yeah, no, great to be here.
It's about time you joined the show, right?
I know. I've been out a lot, traveling.
For the 3-on-4, Hot Take or Hot Garbage. Justin Falk will be the oddball out after this season and will be traded so we can get a bigger and better top 4 right-handed defenseman.
Hot take.
Garbage. Hot garbage.
Hot take.
He still got 2 years left on his contract?
They're going to trade him.
We've been down this road. And I love you, brother. And it pains me to have to explain this time and time again.
What?
If you don't want someone, why do you think someone else wants them?
No, this guy's good.
But why are you trading him then, Anthony?
It's always better to trade a guy 1 year too soon than 1 year too late.
Oh, gosh.
Bill Walsh.
I thought that was Bill Belichick.
Nobody actually knows. Nobody knows.
Nobody knows.
Now's the time.
Now?
He's affordable.
Right now?
No, not right now. Next year. In the off season. He's affordable. 6.5 mil.
He's got 2 more years on his contract, Anthony.
And a reasonable 6.5.
Is it reasonable?
Yeah.
Is that reasonable?
Salary cap's going up.
You see how you see how his face did that? You see how this is how I know I'm getting the short end of the stick when you're trying to sell me something. He's like, no, salary cap's going up. You're good. No, he's still good. He can play. Why do you want to get rid of him if the salary cap's going up and he can still play?
Because we got young guys that are ready to go. It's a roster crunch thing.
You salesman.
Okay, Carey, when Colton Parayko comes back, who out of the defensemen are you taking out?
He wants Broberg gone, so that's fine.
that was.
God, just say
that was a bit much.
You want Broberg gone? I'm trying to save Broberg, St. Louis.
That's a bit much. I'm probably going either and this is no knock on him, either the really old guy or the young guy.
You're gonna take the young guy.
I'm one of the two. It's either going to be Suter or it's going to be Tucker.
Do you consider taking out
Suter's done.
Justin Falk?
No. He's getting paid $6.5 million.
I'm trading him.
No, he's talking about
now. When Parayko comes back.
Oh. Well, it'll probably be Tucker.
That's what I said. He's either the older guy or the younger guy.
I got lost.
What the hell were you listening to?
Not you guys.
Clearly.
Yeah.
Anthony, where are we?
It's probably going to be Tyler Tucker. I wouldn't be shocked if it's Suter.
So Justin Falk staying in the lineup.
Correct.
Despite what we've been seeing lately.
Well, he hasn't been good, Marsh. He hasn't been good, but yes. I don't think it's going to be Falk that's out of the lineup. Go Falk yourself on that idea.
Whoa. Anthony, you've been real spicy today. I think it's been rubbing off on us.
Oh, what? Don't rub off on anything on me.
Marsh, you came in here hot.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Don't rub anything off on me.
No.
The only thing that rubs off on Carey that he put is that tiger ball.
Yeah. I put some on this morning before I lifted.
Did you?
I'll tell you what, I'd rather smell that tiger balm than whatever you dragged in here yesterday. I came back from a break and man, I'm like, what raccoon is living in the corner of this room that is now dead?
It's a possum, Anthony.
Turned out as some sort of meat that Carey brought in.
Yeah, mystery meat.
All right, let's move on. FedEx Colton, hot take or hot garbage. Matthew Liberatore is a perfectly fine number 5 starter thus far.
Hot take.
He's been fine.
The only problem is, never mind. Yeah, he's been fine.
No, go ahead. No. Nobody's safe, Carey. Come on.
He's not the number 5. I mean, he is. But is he? He can reshuffle the rotation around.
Well, he's your number 5.
Is he?
No, Izzy's not, but I would like...
Izzy.
Saw him walking around the hallway the other day.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Said hello. Love Izzy. No, Matthew Liberatore is your fifth starter.
But is he really?
If you're trying to get me to talk about Miles McColas, Miles McColas should be like your 10th starter
I didn't say that.
in Peoria.
Whoa. What?
For the Chiefs,
Peoria?
Anthony?
You heard me. I didn't stutter.
You ain't going to send him to Memphis?
Nope.
Peoria's closer. Is it not?
Is it?
It's in Illinois.
I'm basing this off his pitching. I'm basing this decision off his pitching.
Anthony, it's a long season. It's been 2 games.
It's still early.
Right?
Are you
the first
shoving
week
that
of the
Wilson
season.
Contreras comment that I made earlier back in my face? Because Wilson Contreras has been a monster. Miles Michaelis has stunk for 3 years now. Don't you dare, Marsh. Don't you dare use my words against me.
Now you know how it feels.
I've tasted my medicine,
Yes.
and it is bitter.
All right, this next one comes from the Water Boy. Hot take.
Splashback Deuce. He could put his boat in the water in Peoria. That's true.
Oh, gosh.
And what is it not named?
You hate me because you ain't me.
I don't know if that is the
That's a pretty
correct
good
way to
team.
say that now.
You hate me because you ain't me?
It's like, you hate me because
You ain't me.
I
Well,
haven't
yeah,
been
now.
pitching really well.
But had he just taken
I
that
still
name,
liked it that way.
if he had taken that
Yeah.
name 3-4 years ago when I gave it to him,
It'd be different.
it'd be different right now. He
you
wouldn't
do.
be in Peoria.
The sliding doors moment.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right, the Water Boy, hot take or hot garbage. If the crowds at the Masters were more like the documentary Happy Gilmore, you would have more interest in the tournament.
Hot take. They're not rowdy enough.
Yeah, hot take. Yep, I agree.
You got to be quiet during the backswing.
Nah,
You don't want to interrupt
I like
a
when-
professional athlete from doing his job.
I like when Gilmore says, "Hey, come on, let's make a little noise here, guys. Come on."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, be quiet as the quarterback drops back in the pocket.
Have you ever seen the videos where they do that? Where like Saquon Barkley, his play where he leapt over the defender, and they did it in a golf voice. And there's the running back. Oh, what a play! As he leaps over defender.
And everybody on the sideline.
Yes. That's funny.
The windup and the pitch. And that one is smacked into right field, and the San Francisco Giants are going to go to the World Series.
Wind up in the pitch. And we will see you tomorrow night.
Go crazy, folks.
Go crazy.
Go crazy. That's a Redbird winner.
I don't believe what I just saw.
The wait is over.
And the Rams have won the Super Bowl.
Oh, man.
That's pretty good. The wait is
Another
over.
good one.
The wait is over.
The wait is
folks.
over. The wait is over.
But no, hold on.
There's got to be more.
Boom. Gunnarsson.
They are having the time of their life. And boom goes the dynamite.
Oh, man. That's good.
All right, one more from the 636. The Blues will get swept. No, the Blues, hot take or hot garbage, the Blues will get swept out of the first round without Dylan Holloway and anything but a 100% Colton Parayko.
Hot garbage and go fast lane yourself with that awful
he said.
take. It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. Gauntlet next.
categories, one challenger. Can you survive the Gauntlet?
Brought to you by Blue Note Roofing. Roofing, siding, and gutters. Visit BlueNoteRoofingSTL.com for a free inspection.
401, your time check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler, with Kerry Davis and Andrew Marsh. I'm Anthony Stalter. Marshy, what do we have today?
We have Evan joining the show.
What's up, Evan?
Hey guys, how's it going today?
Yeah, it's going good. The rain clouds have passed. The sun is out, and we're feeling good. Are you ready to rock here in the Gauntlet?
I am.
All right. Would you like to take on Kerry Davis, Andrew Marsh, or me?
You know, this is my first time Gauntlet, so I got to go with you, Anthony.
Oh, hey. Whoa, me.
I gotta happen.
Wow, okay. I was expecting Kerry, but good luck to you, Evan.
Thank you.
All right, Evan. Anthony is heading out. Oh, you almost fell. You okay? You fell back. Yeah, all right.
Did a move.
I didn't see it. I just thought you almost fell. He's headed out to the Conus Islands. Evan, tell Marshy to spin that wheel.
Spin that wheel, Marshy.
Is there a specific category you're hoping for today?
Anything but football.
Anything but football. Okay, well, good news. Evan, you don't have football. Marshy, what does he have?
Evan, today you have baseball.
Okay.
All right, Evan, so you know how this goes. If you answer the answer correctly without the options, you get 2 points. If you answer it correctly with the options, you get 1 point. And if you answer incorrectly, you get 0 points. Are you ready to roll?
Yes, sir.
All right, here we go. On May 14th, 2023, the Cardinals beat Boston 9-1 to complete a 3-game sweep at Fenway Park. Nolan Arenado hit a 2-run homer in that route, as did who else?
Ooh.
Uh-oh, we lost. Say it again, Evan.
Did you say 2023?
Yep, 2023.
Oof. I don't want to say Tyler O'Neill. I'm going to shoot the say that.
Tyler O'Neill?
Yes, sir. Final answer.
Question number 2. Whose record-setting 59 consecutive scoreless inning streak began on August 30th, 1988?
That was well before I get the option.
Options are Pedro Martinez, Fernando Valenzuela, or Oral Hershiser.
I'm going to go Hershiser. Final.
Oral Hershiser?
Yes.
Question number 3. Name the current manager of the Memphis Redbirds.
I'm going to need the option.
Is it Galen Pitts, Ben Johnson, or Brandon Hyde?
What was the second one?
Ben Johnson.
I'll take him. Final answer.
And question number 4. Can you tell us the only Major League Baseball team that through 9 games has yet to deliver a quality start?
I know the Cardinals have done. Ooh. You know what? Let's just shoot hip again. Let's go the Athletic. Final answer.
All right. We'll get Anthony back in here. How you feel, Evan?
It's either going to be really good or really bad.
Well, that's usually how it goes. Anthony is walking in, putting on his headphones. Anthony, how was the Conus Islands?
Great. Had a lot of fun with T-Bone and Mike Ryder.
Okay. All right. Are you ready to roll?
I'm ready.
Your category is baseball, your favorite.
Yes.
Marshy, tell him.
Pack a lunch.
My favorite is hockey.
Well.
I dominated hockey.
Okay, well, you got baseball. Lock in.
Okay.
On May 14th, 2023, the Cardinals beat Boston 9-1 to complete a 3-game sweep at Fenway Park. Nolan Arenado hit a 2-run homer in that route, as did who else?
No clue. Options, please.
Is it Andrew Kisner, Tyler O'Neill, or Lars Nootbaar?
Kisner, O'Neill, or Nootbaar? It's got to be Kisner. He's the outlier. Give me Andrew Kisner for 500, please. Final answer.
Question number 2. Whose record-setting 59 consecutive scoreless inning streak began on August 30th, 1988.
Options.
Options are Pedro Martinez, Fernando Valenzuela, or Oral Hershiser.
I don't think it'd be Pedro Martinez. So it's Oral Hershiser or who?
Fernando Valenzuela is the other option.
It's got to be Hershiser. I think his scoreless. Oral Hershiser. Final answer.
Question number 3. Name the current manager of the Memphis Redbirds.
Ben Johnson. Final answer.
And question number 4. Can you tell us the only Major League Baseball team that through 9 games has yet to deliver a quality start?
Did the Cardinals do it? Well, yeah, I guess they did. Options.
Is it the Yankees, the Athletics, or the Marlins?
The Yankees, the Athletics, or the Marlins? And this is quality starts?
Quality starts.
I'm going to play the outlier again. Give me the Yankees. Final answer.
All right. Start with question number 1. On May 14th, 2023, the Cardinals beat Boston 9-1 to complete a 3-game sweep at Fenway Park. Nolan Arenado hit a 2-run homer in that route, as did who else? Evan, you said Tyler O'Neill without the options.
Ooh.
Anthony, you said Andrew Kisner with the options. The correct answer is...
It is Andrew Kisner.
Oh, outlier, baby.
Anthony got you 1-0. Let's go to number 2. Whose record-setting 59 consecutive scoreless inning streak began on August 30th, 1988? You both took the options. You both said Oral Hershiser. Correct answer is?
It is Oral Hershiser.
Nice. Good job, Evan.
Question number 3. Name the current manager of the Memphis Redbirds. Evan, you said Ben Johnson. Anthony, you said Ben Johnson. The correct answer is?
It's Ben Johnson.
Anthony has a 4-2 lead. 2-point lead.
Okay, so Evan.
Anthony, he got it right. They both got it right. He needed the option.
Got it.
Probably should have said that. All right, comes down to this. Can you tell us the only MLB team that through 9 games has yet to deliver a quality start? Without the options.
Oh, sweet merciful
Evan
crap.
said the Athletics.
Oh, no.
With the options, Anthony said, well, got to be the outlier. It's the Yankees.
Do I sound like that?
That's my...
That's your Anthony voice?
That's my normal white guy voice.
Darn it.
I don't know.
That's every black comedian.
There he is.
So, if Evan is right and it's the Athletics, well, we got a walk-off. If Anthony is right and it's the Yankees, well, he wins 5-2. Or if it's the Marlins, Anthony still wins 4-2. Evan.
You have chosen poorly.
You lose. Not today.
It is the outlier. It is the Yankees. Anthony got you 5-2. Evan, good job today.
Thank you. Good job with Stalter. Appreciate you guys having me on.
Thank you, Evan. Hey, thanks for listening. Thanks for playing.
Yeah, absolutely.
I did see somebody in the Snake Pit say that the Yankees...
This was through 9 games.
Through 9 games. Got it. All right.
Sometimes the questions are a little
outdated.
Yeah, sometimes. Sometimes we don't get to that category. So that's why listening is important. That's why I struggled with the ACT. I wouldn't read that question all the way through. I just wouldn't. Well, they're listening. I was reading. I'm just telling you. Read that whole question and then give you an answer.
Nah, you just got to go with B.
Yeah. I thought it was C. C?
B or C.
C.
Just B or C, all the way down.
Yep. You know, I actually fell asleep on the ACT one time.
Did you?
Mm-hmm.
How'd you fall asleep? You're like reading it.
Nope. I just went through. I was tired. I had taken it 3 times prior, and I was like, whatever I get on this one is what I get. It's the highest score I got.
Nice.
Yep. I was actually snoring, and the teacher was like, hey, you got to wake up. Sorry.
And then you just filled it out.
No, I did it first, and then I went to sleep.
Oh.
Don't do that, kids. Hopefully
No, study and stuff.
Study.
Yeah.
I did study. I took the class. I took it 4 times, Anthony.
I took it a bunch, too.
I struggled.
My dad got me a tutor. He's like, we're gonna smarten you up, son. And I go, all right, let's do it. And I did not do well.
No.
So I wind up at a Mac school and then on the radio.
In sports radio.
I only took it one time.
What'd you get? You probably got like a 25,
like a 26.
27.
You got a 20.
come
You got a
on.
26. Didn't
Absolutely not.
What did you get?
I got a 22.
Yeah.
22.
Higher than me.
Got a 22. Got accepted into North Dakota, and I said, "That's where I'm going."
Good
job,
for you.
man.
Nice.
And here we are.
Not me.
Yeah. Nah, I was below 20. That's for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, now that CD and I feel real good about ourselves, hey, you know what? We still did okay in life. You won a Super Bowl.
I did. I didn't need to study that damn paper to do that.
No.
I watched that Super Bowl.
Yeah, you did.
Just need to know A gap, B gap, which linebacker was blitzing, what route to run.
You don't see that on an ACT.
That definitely wasn't on there.
Yeah.
I'd have aced that thing.
You weren't calculating the distance between train A and train B on.
Going 50 miles an hour.
Nope.
And what time will they get there? How the hell when they get there?
Am I on that train? Because if I'm not on that train, I don't care.
Why do I care? I don't know.
I don't know. You tell me. Since it's so important to you, ACT.
Yeah, struggle.
Scott goes, I got a 28 and I thought I was dumb. No, Scott, you're incredible.
You are pretty damn good.
Yeah. When people text in, they're like, wow, you guys don't know anything. Yeah, we know.
Duh.
We know. All right, it's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. Did the Dylan Holloway injury change everything for the Blues? Marshy says yes. I'll tell you why next on 101 ESPN.
What?
So we just called my guy Stewie, who's on the line right now. And Stewie, I want to talk about mistakes. I certainly make a ton of mistakes throughout, every day. And I'm sure I make a lot of mistakes when it comes to figuring out certain things that you're a pro at. So what can you teach us today when it comes to making mistakes in your world?
Anthony, 3 weeks ago, I got a call from an ESPN listener. He says, you know what? I've been saving money. I understand you got to put 20% down. It's the first time I'm buying a home. I just can't put that money together. And I said, you know what, George? You don't need 20%. If you're a first-time home buyer, 3% down. That money can be gifted. It can be your tax refund. He goes, tax refund? I just did my taxes. I want to buy a $220,000 house. Got $7,000. Can I do it? No closing costs with the bagel loan. Bam! He closed in 3 weeks and got the house of his dreams. Don't self-diagnose. You can buy a home. Sometimes your payment is even cheaper than the rent. Be a homeowner. Build your castle. You can do it with 3% down.
You beat me to it when you said don't self-diagnose. We do that all the time. We do that with health stuff. And like you just said, Stewie, we also do it when it comes to thinking we know what we need to do to purchase a home. Let the thinking be done by Stewie, because he already knows. 314-324-4440 is his personal cell phone number. Again, 314-324-4440. It's the exact same number that I used earlier this week to call Stewie myself. It's his personal number. He wants you to call or text. Got that old school customer service feel. So whether you're buying a home, whether you're refi, whether you don't know if now is a good time to refi, whether you want some help on some debt consolidation, Stewie can handle it all for you, and you can save you a ton of money in the process. If you missed that phone number earlier, Google the bagel loan. Thanks, Stewie.
Have a great night, Anthony.
NMLS number 226715.
Yes, look, they missed Dylan Holloway in a big way. His speed, his 16 to 18 minutes a game, his physicality, you are not replacing that with anybody that's come into the lineup. So you're going to miss that, but I still think they can be very successful.
Chris Kerber earlier today in the Fastlane on 101 ESPN responding to a question that Andrew Marsh asked him. It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. Did the Dylan Holloway injury change everything for the Blues? Marsh, I feel as though that you believe that it has. Why do you feel that way?
In a sense, I think it's glaringly obvious what he brings to this team. For me, though, I talked about this a couple weeks ago, just about like the chemistry and how, what's the word I'm looking for?
Cohesion.
And I'm very superstitious, right? So I wanted everything to remain the same in terms of all 12 forward lines because they were working so well together. They were like a well-oiled machine, and they knew what their brand of hockey was at that time. And I saw little bits and pieces of that starting to fracture a little bit, even when Dylan Holloway was in the lineup. You could go back to the Detroit game, the Pittsburgh game. That's when he ended up getting injured. But yeah, right now they're looking for chemistry, right? They're moving the lines around. You found that last night with your first line, but you're seeing the rest of the forward groups maybe not contributing offensively like they were a couple weeks ago. So I think you take him out of the lineup, and things are just different now. And I don't see them checking the same. I don't see the same brand of hockey that we saw a couple weeks ago during that stretch run. And I think he's a huge catalyst for that. So yeah, I think it's just a huge blow for the Blues right now. But that's obvious, I think.
Cat Dad Gamer from the Snake Pit says, without Holloway, our offense is skating. Without him, it feels like they're playing on their heels. And I think that's kind of what you're noting too. That's an excellent observation to go off of your great takes there, Marsh. It is obvious, but it's worth noting because the top line has been scoring, but the depth hasn't been there. We haven't seen the cliched ability to roll 4 lines like we did before. This is what happens when you lose a significant piece of your offense. So is it a bad trend? Yes. Is it a nothing burger? No. It is something that if the Blues don't get Dylan Holloway back for the postseason and Colton Parayko and they're back at full strength, I think unfortunately their ceiling is capped.
See, I think it's a nothing burger. I mean, obviously him being injured is it hurts. But I'm looking at the schedule. The last 5 games of their winning streak, they all were 1-goal games. He got hurt against Pittsburgh. He only played about 5 minutes. The next game against the Avalanche, where you were up 4-0, you allowed them to get back into the game. But even against the Red Wings, that was an overtime game. The Avalanche, that was a 2-1 game. Like, the winning streak was coming to an end. And we heard Kerber say it earlier. The first 5 games or the first 7 games in comparison to the last 5 games were vastly different, because the first 7 games they were scoring 5, 6, 7 goals, it felt like. And in those last few games, they were eking out wins, and then Dylan Holloway gets hurt. And then you lose 2 games to 2 very good teams. So for me, I think there's a level of panic that probably shouldn't be there. Hopefully the injury isn't as long as we don't know how long it's going to be. We hope it's not too long into the playoffs. We hope it's right at the beginning of the playoffs and the Blues are in and he's back. But for me, it's not. I don't feel like it's as much of it's a Dylan Holloway as it is, man, they were playing their butts off and then they finally ran into a team that says, nah, enough is enough, which was the Winnipeg Jets. And then they ran into another team who got their best player back, one of the best players in the world, and they were not going to find a way to lose that game because he's pretty damn good. Newsflash, my first time ever seeing him. That guy's good.
Yeah, you got to watch him.
Yeah, he's good. So, yeah, I think for me, and you all know this, I've been even keel all year. When they started to play really well, like, okay, I'm on the other side. But I'm on the other side, but I'm still not bouncing around in this trolley that we're riding down Market Street. I'm sitting here. I'm cool. Eating my popcorn, having a beverage. I know the ride is a good ride, Good. Calm down. You don't like when I
don't like when you talk like that.
I think he's too much of a game changer to not have, in your lineup, right? Like it's a huge loss. But again, we're not saying anything that people don't already know.
We're not breaking news here.
We're not breaking news by any means, but I don't know if I have the same temperament as Carey right now. But again, we could have said the same thing when Colton Parayko went down. It's just I keep looking at the trends of this team right now, despite who they played, right? If you play the way that you've been playing in the playoffs against the Jets,
you're going to go home early.
You're going home early.
Let me ask you this, though, Marsh, because you did highlight the turnovers. We know that Dylan Holloway makes a huge difference with this offense. They've gone from consistently scoring 4 goals a game to obviously taking a step back, but you do have to factor the opponent in it at some point. But Marsh, even without Holloway, let's say the turnovers that we saw the last 2 days weren't there. They still lose. They lose both games 2-1, but just because one team had Connor McDavid and the other one had.
So you're saying
the two top scorers.
They don't have the turnovers.
They don't have Holloway. They don't have the turnovers.
I think they win those games.
Okay.
You lost those games because of the turnovers.
So can I interest you? Carey knows where I'm going here. So can I interest you in hey, if they can nix if they can nix the turnovers, right? If they can just play a more sound game of hockey like they were before, and Holloway doesn't return, how do you feel?
I feel better for sure.
Okay.
But I don't know if the offense is as high flying as it was.
That I agree with.
Earlier in the streak. Yeah. And I think that caps the ceiling of where this team can go in the playoffs.
Fair.
So, if he's in the lineup, I feel a lot better, right? And,
Absolutely.
And again, that we're not breaking news by any means. I just think that he brings an element that can maybe get other players going as well.
I feel like we came to, for the first time together, I feel like
we came to an agreement.
Yes. And
I can't do it. My finger.
Oh, I noticed now. I see what you did.
My finger.
You purposely injured your finger so you didn't have to do the...
What? You want to do it with me, Carey?
Nah, man. It's weird when I do it with Jamie. It's really weird.
With Marsh, it's different.
Yeah, we'll just...
Yeah, there we go.
It's weird. That's weird.
It's only weird.
I can't believe he did it
It's
again.
only weird coming from that side of the room. I liked it a lot.
Yeah.
I felt the team camaraderie.
Absolutely.
With our interlocking fingers.
Yeah, I feel like the first time in the show today, we all we got on the same page. You know what? That feels good.
Yeah.
You have something else to say. Go ahead.
I was just going to ask, do you think the Blues, if and when, we'll say they make the playoffs, do you think that they can get out of the first round if Dylan Holloway is not in the lineup for the first round of the playoffs?
Who are they playing?
It would be very difficult. But yes, I do, because I've seen Jordan Binnington steal series before.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not going to eliminate them because, look, playoff hockey, we know what playoff hockey is about. It will be very difficult without Dylan Holloway. But even if Holloway were to return, Marsh, I would still say the most important factor in a first-round series is going to be the play of Jordan Binnington.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my honest answer. Now, I still think the most obvious thing in all of St. Louis is you got to fire Ollie Marmot.
Oh, God.
What?
Sports Six Pack is next. 314-399-9646 is the Air Comfort Service text line. If you got a question for us, send it there. We'll answer it next on 101 ESPN. Auto Centers Nissan Herculaneum, they boast 800 new and used vehicles. And they actually have 800 new and used vehicles all in one location. So they're not one of these dealerships that you drive out to and you looked at their selection online and you're like, oh, okay, great. I'm here to, test drive this vehicle. And they're like, okay, cool. Yeah, that one's in our Winnipeg location. So we got to get it down for you. No, Auto Centers Nissan Herculaneum, they've got over 800 new and used vehicles all in one location right there in Herculaneum, I-55 in McNutt, minutes from South County, and no scavenger hunt required. The vehicles that they have, they're priced to move. New Nissans also get the complimentary lifetime warranty and 30-day return promise. So we're talking about serious peace of mind. If your credit has seen better days, no worries. While other dealerships are going to overpromise and underdeliver, Auto Centers Nissan Herculaneum feels confident that anyone that walks through the door can drive away in a brand new Nissan and have that vehicle financed. Check them out online at AutoCentersNissan.com. When you head out to Herculaneum, tell them Stalter sent you. It's Auto Centers Nissan, big inventory, bigger savings, zero nonsense.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. The Blues fall to the Oilers last night by a final score of 4-3. They'll take on the Seattle Kraken on Saturday. Pregame starts at 8. Puck drop is at 9. We talked earlier with Chris Kerber, voice of the Blues, right here on the Blues Radio Network. If you missed that interview or if you missed anything from today's show, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com or check out the free Dobbs Tire and Auto Center's 101 ESPN mobile app. Just head to the podcast page and you'll find all of our interviews and full shows there. And it's all brought to you by the Schaefer Door Company. The Cardinals are off today. They'll take on the Philadelphia Phillies tomorrow. Andre Pallante on the mound going up against Aaron Nola. First pitch is at 7:15. Coming up next, we have our Sports Six-Pack. So get your questions into the Air Comfort Service text line, 314-399-9646. We will do our six-pack next. I'm Andrew Marsh, and this Sports Center update is brought to you by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. See them at londoff.com. Chevy, together we drive. Are you kidding me?
It's time for the Fast Lane to answer your sports questions.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions, and I want to have them answered immediately.
Asking me all these weird questions.
Answer the question. Answer the question. Answer me! The Sports Six-Pack is refreshed by the Finnish Long Drink, Finland's best-kept secret. A sparkling citrus beverage made with real liquor. Visit thelongdrink.com.
It's a Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Time for the Sports Six-Pack. 314-399-9646 with Kerry Davis. I'm Anthony Stalter. Here is Andrew Marsh.
Question number 1.
What are you laughing at, Carey?
I'm laughing at
the text line.
Splashback Deuce sent the message, and I thought I was listening to that earlier. Can you see it? No. Did it go away? Okay.
I'll check it out later. All right, this first one comes from the Water Boy. Which game show do you think you could win on? This could include American Idol, Survivor, Wheel of Fortune, Jeopardy.
Amazing Race.
Ooh, that's a good one.
I want to do it. Like,
Don't you have to have a partner?
Yeah.
So who would the partner be?
Probably my girlfriend.
Okay.
Yeah. Like, my mom used to want to do it, but she's having some foot issues, so she's probably, hey, we ain't racing with her. Hey, sure ass out here, mother.
Whoa!
I love my mom. My mom is competitive as hell.
So she would know.
You better believe it.
Okay.
If she's listening, she's like, yeah, I don't mind. Because if I was, unable, I say I had a bum knee or had knee surgery like I've had in the past and I couldn't go, she'd be like, hell no, I ain't doing it with
she'd
you.
bench you.
You better believe it.
Yeah, she'd bench you right away.
Oh, yeah. My mom knows. My mom also knew not to ever put pads on around me because it didn't matter who was out there.
Gonna get run over.
Ooh-wee.
Yeah.
You better believe it.
I don't think I'd be able to win any show that requires some sort of brain power. I don't know. Maybe Survivor. Maybe.
Oh, that's a good one.
Because I feel like I could. He's kind of likable, but I'm like wolf in sheep's clothing.
So I was thinking the same thing. Because I love Survivor. But I'm being realistic here. I think if you are presented as more of like a physical threat, you may make it to the merge based on, wanting your tribe to win challenges and whatnot. But as you get further along in the game, typically those physical threats are weeded out just because of the threat that you are.
Yeah.
So realistically, you would have to play a really sound game.
It's too much thinking involved in that. Like, it's too much. Not that it's not. Well, yeah, but you have to, like, if you probably are more of a threat than you think you are, Anthony, because I'm serious, because you're strong. You got those big shoulders that they talk about in the snake pit all the time.
Guys. Yeah, that's
so when
nice.
you got the traps, you're automatically, he's big and strong. He's automatically a threat. So it's
darn it.
You got to play yourself down and
yeah. I'm weak.
Yeah.
And I'm passive and I don't yell at people.
See?
When in fact,
and then you would rip somebody's head off and they'd be like, kick his ass off the island now.
Yeah, Ranthony show up one time. Yeah, you're right. Well, CD, what you've effectively done is eliminated the one game show I think I'd be okay at. But Marsh, I could see you being real good at Survivor. I think you.
I love Survivor.
One, he's likable as hell.
He is.
He's incredibly likable.
But he's also
That's a threat,
very no. But he's very cutthroat.
Man, I would
like he will cut you.
But people don't know
he
it.
will chop your damn head off, and
absolutely.
And like things will go on. You're like, who did it? I don't know. He'll help you look for the body.
Yes, he would, knowing that it's in his trunk. Yeah,
right.
Anthony, I'd help you look for that idol. With that idol in my back pocket.
Yeah, you would. Yeah, where is it? We're a team.
Oh man, where's it at?
Meanwhile, it's in his drawers.
Yeah.
So I think he would. I think Marsh, you would be very good at Survivor.
I also really like the show The Traitors. I've brought it up before, but
I've never seen that one.
Oh, it's super good. It's so fun. Like, it's basically, you have, it depends on what point in the game you're at, but 3 to 4 traitors, maybe there's 2. It doesn't, depends, like I said, but they're trying to convince all of the faithfuls that they're not a traitor, and they're trying to pin a faithful as being a traitor. And you end up kicking people out. You quote unquote murder them. That's what it's called.
Got it. Okay.
It's pretty fun. It's a pretty fun watch.
Sounds like it.
So, but there's people from different reality game shows and just reality TV that are a part of it. But I think I could do pretty well on that.
Yeah.
I don't know. What about singing? What about beat Shazam? You think you could beat Shazam?
Nope. Nope.
Carey might. I probably could. Well, I know the words, right? You just need to know the words. I never know the artist. So if I got to know the artist, I'm bad. Any
sort of singing thing like that. My wife, Kristen, would be incredible at that stuff.
Really?
Yeah.
She knows songs?
She knows songs.
Yeah.
She knows, she really
Lyrics.
pays attention to lyrics.
Yeah.
Which is funny because she'll, I'll mention a song or whatever, and she's like, oh, God, do you know what that song's about? I'm like, no, I have no idea. Oh, it's about a father and the son dies. I'm like, what? No, I'm just as an example. Yeah.
There was this game, I believe, on the Game Show Network called Chain Reaction.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I like that.
Love that game. I feel like I'd do well in that, too.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that's around anymore.
What was the whammy, no whammy?
Wasn't that The Price is Right?
No.
Wasn't it a game on The Price is Right?
No.
No, that was...
That's when they had the board.
Whammy! That's from the Anchorman.
Anchorman.
Yeah, that's what you're thinking of.
Whammy. Nope, not that either.
Okay. I've got a question for the Snake Pit if you want to fire away.
Yes.
Question number 2.
We're only on number 2? Splashback Deuce from the Snake Pit. Sports Six-Pack. Are conditioning, weather, usage, and fatigue legitimate issues for a manager to manage 2 weeks in? I think yes, absolutely.
Conditioning,
absolutely. Yes.
weather, usage.
Yeah, conditioning maybe not as much, but for a pitcher, if depending on whether or not they're completely stretched out, let's say they didn't get a full spring training, then I think it would be an issue. Weather, absolutely. We just saw it.
No, weather is not.
For
both
baseball,
teams are playing in the elements.
What I'm saying is, okay, Saturday the game got rained out, right? Yeah. So now Sunday you have a doubleheader, and then one of your goofball pitchers decides to go 2 2/3. That's going to impact how you manage the following series. So yes, I do think it does.
Yeah, play better.
Well, obviously, CD. But for a manager, you can't just say play better.
Oh, you can.
Well, you can tell them.
Yeah,
but if you're Miles Michaelis and you're like, no, I'm sorry, I got whiplash.
I can't tell you what a coach told me. A coach told me one day. He said, you know what, CD? In the real world, repeat felons, they go to prison. He said, if you're in the sports world and you're a repeat felon, your ass get fired.
Unless you make $17 million. Which CD, know it.
He didn't get to that part. Repeat offenders.
What did Tomlin say? What was Tomlin's famous quote? The one that you repeat all the time.
Says, I'm gonna treat everyone fairly. I won't treat you equally.
There it is. I will treat you fairly. But I would depending on your skill set and everything else.
You will be treated fairly as a man,
but not equally as a player.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, at least he's honest.
Damn right he is. All right. So Splashback Deuce, yes.
The show was called Press Your Luck.
Press Your Luck, yep.
Yeah, you guys don't know anything.
There's another game that I think I'd be good at.
No, I told you my ACT.
The Circle. I don't know if you've heard of it.
No,
it's on
I've never
Netflix.
heard of it.
I have heard of that.
The Circle.
I've never seen it. Maybe I've seen it.
You're basically in your own room, and you are presented as a social media person. You can either be yourself, or you could be somebody else. But you have to convince other people that you're a fun person or whatever. But the point of it is to try and get out people that are catfish. Essentially, it's like a social media game, but you can't see other people. So
you gotta pretend. Marcia, you're kind of giving me a vibe of somebody.
I wouldn't be a catfish. I'd be myself.
Yeah, but okay.
Don't be looking at me like
I ain't
that.
keeping my damn eyes on you. I gotta listen to his songs in between the breaks.
You like my songs?
Yeah, I'm crazy. I gotta keep my damn eyes on Marcia.
I'm just saying, I'd be myself.
Frick James says, what about Squid Game? I've never seen that, but I know the concept.
Oh, Anthony.
There was
I've never seen it either.
There was a movie on Netflix that I watched, and it stuck with me for like a day. I forgot what it was called. Maybe it was like Let's Play a Game or something like that. And it wasn't Saw.
You want to play a game?
But this group of friends who for me, they weren't likable at all. And I won't give away everything, but the plot was this group of friends got together, and some like really smart kid had a machine where you like put like things on your temples, right? And it switches your body or you with somebody else in the room. So like if we all played, I might be Marsh might be Carey might be me. So you're in somebody else's body,
So
but
we're
you're
inside
you.
each other?
We're inside each other. We're deep inside each other.
I'm out.
Are you trying to figure out who is in whose body?
And then they play the game of who's in each other's body.
It's kind of like the circle.
But something goes horribly wrong.
Of course it does.
I mean, horribly wrong.
Oh, the machine stopped working.
But just thinking about somebody else in my body, it messed with me for a full day. Because I have a problem, like my truck got broken into one time, a long time ago. And they didn't steal like much. I have a bunch of stuff in there, but just like little stuff that was in there. The violation of somebody being in my truck.
Yeah, that's a violation you can't get away from.
Infuriated me. Then I started thinking about somebody like in my body, misusing my body. Oh, it messed with me.
Yeah, well, that sounds like a Black Mirror episode.
It was basically a Black Mirror episode in a movie.
Oh, that's creepy.
It was very creepy.
That sounds bad.
Gator goes, sounds like a crazy acid trip, Anthony. Maybe that's what it was. I didn't actually watch a movie.
Question number 3.
So you're just a trailer guy. Yeah, I saw this documentary. It's about 3 minutes long.
They want to know the name of the documentary. You got to find it out.
Well,
I'll find it.
nowadays they show the entire movie in trailers.
They do.
So you really
Like
don't ever have to watch it. From the 314, my buds and I were arguing about what is the most dangerous sport to play. I was wondering, what do you guys think is the most dangerous sport to play?
Are we talking like the 4 major sports, or are we talking like
sport?
Is surfing a sport?
Yeah.
I think that's dangerous.
Man, I got to go with racing.
That's a good one.
I feel like it's dangerous, but
Racing?
Yeah, it's dangerous.
Carey, you're driving like 200 miles per hour.
But they're pros. There's people that drive. I'm more scared about driving down 70 than I would be with Dale Earnhardt Jr. riding by me. Like, hell.
Bull riding, Frick James says.
Oh, that's a good one.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, football's dangerous.
Oh, football's incredibly dangerous.
Of the 4 main ones.
No, it's football.
Football or hockey?
Football.
I mean,
we only
hockey.
play once a week. I'm not taking a slap shot to the face. So
I saw a documentary once of a hockey player that was really just an enforcer, and he went to block a shot, and he blocked it, and the puck hit his mouth, so he goes down, right? And then he fell over, and the goaltender got taken out, and then he laid there as the other team repeatedly smashed the puck and the stick in his face trying to get a goal, and he just laid there on the ice, kept blocking it.
Yeah.
It was unbelievable.
I think that's I don't know what documentary that is.
What about MMA?
Yeah, that's pretty dangerous. Yeah, I would say that.
Yeah.
Because even if you're good, somebody could still be 10 times better and get your ass whooped.
Kneed in the face and been put to sleep.
Yeah.
The hell are you using knees and feet?
I didn't know we were using feet.
Oh, yeah.
How do you think you'd fare in the Hunger Games?
Oh, I love the Hunger Games. That is like my favorite documentary. One of my favorite documentaries.
Which one, the first or the second?
They're all three.
Wasn't there 4?
The prequel.
Technically, kind of, sort of.
There's only 3?
Well, no, there is 4. There's 4. Yeah, there's 4. That's a part 1 and a part 2. So technically there's 5 with the 6th one coming out. One of them is a prequel.
That's right. Ooh. I like those. They're good. I don't know. I don't know if I'm winning, but I'm not going out first.
Are you going to the middle to get weapons first?
No question.
Or are you going to the
that was a setup,
woods?
Marsh.
It was a setup.
It was a setup.
I'm going to the woods.
Are you?
Yeah, I'm going to the woods first because I'm somebody that needs to strategize. Mm-hmm. So I need to retreat first. Mm-hmm. And then that way I can kind of get my bearings. Plus, whoever's going out in the middle, somebody's getting ticked off. You know what I mean? Like somebody, you're going to hear that cannon go off once or twice. And then say, okay, I like my odds. And my odds are improving.
Graham Francis, 3 books, 4 movies. I read the books.
3 books.
Watched the movie.
Wow, you really liked the Hunger Games.
I loved it, man.
Yeah.
The book is much better, and I mean much better than the movie.
Well, they typically are.
Yeah.
Well, because they can expand.
Well, it is wild how people, don't like to look at the source material, but it is what it is. So you had a whole
like a running time to worry about, Marsh. Editing
series.
And stuff, you know?
Yeah. Well, then they start implementing their own ideas. It's just, why don't you don't?
Here's an idea. Stop. Just don't. Sports Six Pack Part 2 next on 101 ESPN.
It's time for the Fast Lane to answer your sports questions.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions, and I want to have them answered immediately.
Asking me all these weird questions.
Answer the question.
Answer the question.
Answer me!
The Sports Six-Pack is refreshed by the Finnish Long Drink, Finland's best-kept secret. A sparkling citrus beverage made with real liquor. Visit thelongdrink.com.
It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN Part 2 of the Sports Six-Pack is right now. Kerry Davis, Anthony Stalter. Here's Andrew Marsh.
Question number 4.
From the 618, if St. Louis could create a dynasty in any professional sport, which would you like to see?
A dynasty.
I mean, seriously. In any sport? Football?
Football would be awesome.
What about the sports that are here right now?
That's where I was going.
Well, they didn't specify.
Yeah, I got to go City SC. St. Louis is a soccer hotbed. Could you imagine? I mean, they packed that place now, and the team is, still trying to find its way. Sorry, club is still trying to find its way. Could you imagine a dynasty for St. Louis City SC? No. And what it would do for St. Louis?
More than a Cardinal dynasty. More than having, Juan Soto, Shohei Ohtani.
City SC has not stabbed its fan base in the face multiple times like the Cardinals have.
I thought that was... Never mind. Nope.
I'm going Blues. We only have one Stanley Cup. We've seen throughout our lifetime a few Cardinal World Series victories. They're up there, double digits. I would like to see the Blues take over that mantle.
Fine.
And at least tie what the Blackhawks did, so we don't have to keep listening to Chicago fans live in the past. Because clearly they can't even sniff the Redbirds when it comes to World Series. So that's the only thing they have on St. Louis. Oh, we get more Stanley Cups. All right, let's go win 3. Blues get a dynasty, and now they have nothing on us, Anthony. They don't have better pizza. They don't have better sports teams.
He drew the line at pizza. You had him until you said pizza.
Marsh.
He hates emos.
I think my bigger problem is the copycat emos, too.
Who are the copycats?
No, I won't say their names.
Oh, goodness gracious, man.
I don't need to. You know who you are. It's the crust you don't like. No, it's the cheese I don't like.
It's the pizza you don't like.
Oh, you don't like the cracker crust. It takes some getting used to.
Anthony.
No, you don't get it, do you? Yeah, City SC, absolutely.
All right.
And I don't think you guys understand what soccer means to these fine folks.
The 314 says the answer is baseball, no doubt.
No doubt.
It would be nice. It would be nice to hear some of the whiniest Cardinals fans, just the whiniest ones, not all Cardinals fans, just the whiniest ones, shut the front door for a little bit. And again, remember, with all due respect, the whiniest ones, not you that's listening now that's a Cardinals fan. I'm talking about somebody else that whines all the time. That group of Cardinals fans.
What if they're listening and they whine all the time?
Well, they don't think that they are, though.
Bingo. All right, yeah, answers Cardinals. Go ahead.
Question number 5.
From the 314, are the Jordan Kyrou trade murmurs officially dead?
Dead and gone.
Who?
Jordan Kyrou.
Dead and
he's
gone.
not going anywhere. Yeah. Next.
He's your leading scorer. He's going to score all the goals ever.
Oh, I got another point last night. Almost had 2 points.
Yeah, Anthony. Good job.
What was that?
I said good job.
Yeah, I heard the last part. I also heard the first part.
I said Anthony.
You said, Anthony.
Good job.
Pause. Good job.
I also got a point.
Buchnevich. Nice job, Marsh. I'll be honest, I didn't like that because I started to have sights on you now that I'm pistol whipping Jamie.
Yeah, you're up by, what, 2 on him now?
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot.
Thank you.
Question number 6.
All right, this one comes from Jigsaw. Realistically, how long until the Cardinals are consistently good again? Is it 2 to 3 years, or is it longer?
Depends. When are they going to get rid of Ollie?
Oh, man. Anthony. That's not the answer.
That's the answer to everything.
That's not the answer. Realistically, I would say, what year are we in? 25?
Yeah.
By 27, 28, there'll be a playoff contender. Like, they'll be in the playoffs, and when I say contending for an opportunity to make it to the NLCS, then anything can happen. So 2 to 3 years. Yes.
I'll say 4 to 5. Sorry, 45 years.
That's ridiculous.
And it's not because of the Cardinals. It's because of Major League Baseball.
Why do you hate Major League Baseball?
Yeah, because they're a bunch of.
It ain't happening.
Major League Baseball does not care about its fans at all, and they continue to show it. Yet, because of 3 organizations, baseball's healthy.
Your favorite player said, if you are complaining about the Dodgers, you are a.
Yeah, because he is on one of those teams.
Yeah. He ain't won a championship.
No, he has not.
Okay.
He should play for the Dodgers. He'd get one tomorrow.
Nah. The Nationals won after he left.
Because they had pitching.
So get pitching. Get young pitching. Get some guys
Get
that
10
can throw.
starters, and you'll be good.
Probably.
And Major League Baseball allows that to happen. As long as you're in a big enough market. I guess I just like a little more entertainment.
Sounds like you're complaining to me,
and
Anthony.
intrigue with my sports. That's all I'm saying. Dr. Smooshy Poops, excellent point. Major League Baseball thinks having 2 to 3 super teams is good for the game. Shake my head. Agreed, Dr. Smooshy Poops. You and I are on the same page, my friend.
I think there are more than 3 or 4 teams. 2 to 3 teams.
Mets, Dodgers, Phillies,
Padres,
Yankees,
Braves.
4.
That was 5.
4. You added more. I just added 4.
Can I ask you a question?
The Padres are gonna not be around soon.
Mets,
They continue to do what
Phillies.
they're doing.
I'm sorry. Mets, Phillies, Braves.
Not Braves. I'm not.
Why wouldn't you put the Braves in there?
I'm not putting the Braves in there.
What is wrong with
Because
you?
they developed some of their talent and then added. I'm good with that.
Oh, you don't have a problem with them being good. He said there were only 2 to 3 good teams. I said there were more.
No, 2 to 3 super teams. Go ahead, Marsh.
Maybe we can carry this over. Maybe you can just answer it in one word, because I know you like to do that sometimes. Would you be okay, or do you think it would be beneficial for baseball to have more teams in the game be competitive up until a certain point, but at the end of the day have bigger teams in the World Series for viewership purposes?
Let me ask you this, Marsh. Do you like a typical, this year's wasn't typical. Do you like a typical NCAA tournament?
Yes.
That is what you just described. My team's in it. I've got a shot until
That's not realistic.
Final Four.
Hey, talent is talent.
Kerry, you're an Illinois fan. Every single time, we got a shot. We got a shot. No, you don't.
Basketball, yes. We've always had a shot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. We made it to the Final Four one year.
Oh, you're
The
right.
championship game. I was there, Anthony. It was here.
Mm-hmm.
It was in
Every year,
in the
yeah.
building.
That's right.
I told you we won the national championship, Anthony. What the hell are you talking about? It was an orange and blue team.
That was Florida.
Yes. Was it?
Yep.
You sure?
Yep. How have the losses impacted the way you view the Blues? We'll get into that next on 101 ESPN.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. Marshy, I love it that you're fired up. Love it. But let's just calm down. It's Thursday. Sun's shining for now. It's almost Friday. It's almost quitting time. And by this time, next week, we'll be celebrating that the Blues are in the playoffs. Love the show, guys. Keep it up.
Clayton, appreciate you, pal. That was Clayton leaving us a Scott Lee Heating Company mic drop via the 101 ESPN Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers app. So what Clayton was saying was in reference to us asking you how the losses, the back-to-back losses, have impacted the way that you now view the Blues. And we started the show off talking about last night's game, but then I noticed something in our young, dear Andrew Marsh, who right now looks like he loves life. But at 2 o'clock, he was hating things, especially his Blues.
Hate's a strong word.
Hating the way the Blues are playing.
I don't hate the way the Blues. I am frustrated.
You were beyond frustrated.
Yes.
You were angered by them. So I wanted to open up to the people. Tell us how you're feeling about the Blues. So I think, Marsh, there's a couple of different ways we can look at this. Mm-hmm. One, it was the Jets and the Oilers. Or you look at it and say, yeah, it was the Oilers, but it was half the Oilers. They had 5 defensemen. They had Connor McDavid, but he was coming back from the injury. That wasn't a complete Oilers team. And you mucked around a little bit again. And even some of the wins, the Blues haven't been.
Mucked around and found out.
Exactly. Even the Blues and wins have not played to their best. So I wanted to gauge the temperature of Blues fans. Clayton says everybody calm the blank down. Let's hear from Aiden next.
Hey guys, the part that frustrates me the most about how the Blues have been losing these past 2 games, it comes down to your veterans. I mean, looking at last night, you have not a good game at all from Braden Shen. Justin Falk looks lost out there. We're getting pushed around in front of our own net. Like, we need our veterans to step up. Our net front play is abysmal right now. You look at their goals from last night. How many? 2? All 3 of them? Nobody touched a man in front of the net, and Bennington has no chance. Like, it's a joke, honestly, and I think we're going to get in, but come playoff time, you got to play hard hockey. You can't let guys get to the front of the net and push you around, and that's what's happening right now. So I think that's the biggest thing that we've got to fix going into these next 2 games.
And thank you, Aiden. Scorpion74 says, are the last-minute goals being given up not a massive concern, all caps? Panther Claus 2025, the Blues have lost 8 games by giving up that goal in the third period with 30 seconds or less this season. 8 times they couldn't close it out. Kerry, that was your biggest concern at the start of the show.
Yeah, that is a concern. Not being able to close out games, whether it's pushing the game into overtime or winning the game in regulation. A couple of those times they were able to win the game in overtime after a game was tied. We talked about 6-on-5. That has been a huge issue, not able to, clear the puck or touch the puck if you got a delayed penalty. Like it's been some issues that have been taking place for this team. I think they're all correctable. I think, if you're a coach, though, I'm sure Jim Montgomery and his staff are at times livid with the inability to close games out and allow those goals with less than 30 seconds left.
I think, Carey, you pointed out something that it is correctable, and I think they can correct it. I just thought that maybe they would have corrected it already.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder I agree with that. I think it's not corrected until you find yourself in that position and actually get it done.
Well, not so much just the 6-on-5, but a lot of these different things, like some of the trends that I've been seeing about the way the team is playing, some of the details, some of the passes that aren't crisp, like things that they were doing during that win streak and even before that, after the Four Nations break. It just looks a little bit different, and I do think they can correct it, and maybe once they get in, they'll be a little break before the playoffs start based on when they end the season compared to when some other teams end the season. They'll get a few days off and they can reset things and get back to that winning brand of hockey that we've seen over the past couple of weeks. But right now, the way that they've been playing, it doesn't give me a lot of confidence going into a playoff series against one of the best teams in the NHL. I think you can get away with that if you play against the Red Wings, the Pittsburgh Penguins. Even some of the things that they were doing in Colorado were good, but then also you saw them give up some goals. Like, it can be corrected, but to me, it's just a little concerning based on where we're at in the season.
I think that's understandable. It kind of goes into what Scorpion 74 just said. Robert said, folks are sure jumping off the Blues bandwagon.
Me and Robert are on the same page.
Scorpion 74 says, still on the Blues bandwagon. However, there are concerns. Yeah, I think both can be true. I think you'd still be on the Blues bandwagon, but see that it's a little bit more bumpy than it was a week ago.
Depends on where you're sitting at. You're sitting in the right spot. Put your seatbelt on. Are you going to get there safely? Sure. You're going to like the ride? You're going to love it. You are.
You know what I'm going to say to you?
What?
Seats taken.
Because the bandwagon is full.
Yes.
Yeah.
The way that I look at it, though,
this damn bandwagon.
Kerry, you bring up that you're not concerned, even with the trends that we're seeing. But all football season long, you were concerned about what the Chiefs were doing based on the trends that they had throughout the year, and it ended up biting them in the butt when it really mattered.
Chiefs,
Marsh from way downtown.
The Chiefs. Hold on, you brought it up. The Chiefs were the favorite to win the Super Bowl
for sure.
In my opinion, they weren't as good as everyone was projecting them to be because I saw things that were taking place. I never thought going into the season that the Blues were Stanley Cup champions.
Right.
Even after the 12-game win streak, I didn't feel like the Blues were Stanley Cup champions. They were projected or predicted to be a Stanley Cup champion. To me, they were a team that going into the season was a fringe playoff team. They worked their butts off. They got a new coach, and they put themselves, in my opinion, firmly in a playoff position. And if they're able to win a series or give a team trouble in the playoffs, to me that's a victory because I don't think that this is a championship team today. I didn't feel like it was a championship team when they were on their 12-game winning streak. It's fun, it's good to watch, but I don't think that that's where they are right now. In 2 years, hell yeah. So if this was 2 years from today, and you're talking about this team is starting to falter down the stretch, I'd be like, that's a problem. But based on where they are and who they are right now, I don't feel like it's that big of an issue because, again, Jamie has said it, I agree with it, you're playing with house money. Yes, you want to win. Yes, it feels good if you are, if you're playing well. But if you get knocked out by the Vegas Golden Knights, are you going to be like, oh, that was a terrible season?
No.
You're going to say it was a hell of a season. If the Kansas City Chiefs lost in the first round, that's a terrible season. So those are two totally different things.
I think where I'm looking at it is I've seen the Blues play winning hockey that I believe it didn't matter who they would go up against. They could beat them based on what I saw at the beginning half of that 12-game win streak. And I'm not seeing that right now. So my expectations now aren't what the team was at the beginning of the season. I'm looking at it, how are they play? Like, I've seen what they look like at their best. It's a pretty damn good team. So that's where my expectations have gone to now because I've seen it for a stretch run. That's just where I'm at right now. The expectations for me have changed a little bit. That doesn't mean if they go into a first-round playoff and end up losing that I'm going to think the world is ending by any means. I'd like to see them, make it a series. But I just don't believe with the way that they're playing now, I don't know if that will bring itself to a 6 or 7 game series if you're going to keep having turnovers like they've been giving the other team these past few games.
I think whatever the Blues do, they are gaining experience.
That's 100%.
The future. Like even these last 2 games, like it's all a learning experience. You got a lot of young players. Dvorsky is playing. You got Snuggerud getting time and getting opportunities. Zach Bulduke is still a young player. Like you got a lot of young guys. Jake Neighbors. Like a lot of these guys have never been been to the playoffs. Like, they don't know what that experience is like. So for me, going through this process, it's a maturation process. It's the process that we yearn for the Cardinals to hurry up and get to, but they are further away, feels like every single year. The Blues are right there in their window, that 3 to 5 year window where you're making the playoffs and you put yourself in a position to make a run at the championship. That started this year, but it didn't start really until Jim Montgomery took over. So that's when it opened. The window is open. Now you can climb through or you can not, but it's open for them to try to win a championship. But everything that they're doing, they're gaining experience from it in this moment.
And I understand that you can have, success after failure, and sometimes you need to fail, right? Like, you need to fail to figure out what you need to do next time to be better. Yeah. And I think the Blues could, they're in that spot right now if they do end up not making a deep run in the playoffs. I'm just like, as a fan watching the game,
you're disappointed.
I'm just frustrated because I think these are simple things that they can correct and things that Jim Montgomery has harped on, and I've seen them play better. And as a fan, I want them to go back to that brand, but that's just the fan in me.
Sure. Can I address something kind of serious that just kind of weighed on my heart over the last couple of minutes? Tanisha from the Snake Pit says Stalter knows a lot about bandwagons.
It hurt more because of who it came from.
Tanisha, if you came here today to hurt me, congratulations, you have. Meanwhile, Carey's over there rooting for the Dodgers. Hey. And he gets the free pass.
Now, here's the thing.
Love you, Tanisha.
I haven't watched one Dodgers game yet this year. So there, take that with whatever you want. Take that however you want to. Haven't watched one yet. It's because I know they're going to win.
Exactly. Thank you. Thank you. I rest my case, Judge. Let's hear from Andrew. Andrew's got the final word.
When it comes to the Blues, I got to side with Carey on this. I mean, he's absolutely right. We just won 12 in a row, and 2 of the games that we just lost were to the top team in the West and the team that went to the Stanley Cup final last year. He's absolutely right. There's no reason to panic. So all I can say is you're wrong on this one, Anthony. You're absolutely wrong. I'm sorry. I love you, but you're wrong on this one, Anthony.
Yeah, Anthony, you've been talking all damn day about these Blues and how frustrated you are. You're wrong.
Think you meant Marshy?
No, he definitely meant Andrew. Andrew's our guy that always brings us Raising Cane's on Dunk's birthday.
Andrew, hey.
And, of course, Dunk would say, you're wrong on this one, Anthony. Good stuff, Andrew. Good stuff to everybody. Thank you. Again, nothing but love for you, Tanisha. It's Fastlane on 101 at ESPN. Should the Cardinals... Actually, I'm going to rephrase this here. CD saw something that another team did that reminded him of the Cardinals and what's possibly to come. That's next on 101 ESPN. Well, if you see what it's like outside right now with the more rain coming, you also know that it's supposed to warm up a little bit this weekend. How's your lawn looking? If it's not looking its best, if it's not looking as good as the neighbor, man, get a little jealous. Call Green Envy. They'll make your lawn the envy of your neighborhood. 636-655-3689. I only use Green Envy. In fact, they're the only company that I allow to touch my lawn because I know they do it right. And they use products that are formulated for Missouri. Not some of these other companies that come in and they spray for weeds and they use a lot of the national generic products that you can find at the hardware store. They also do a much better job than I would because they're service professionals and they're commercially licensed applicators. So when I do it, or I've attempted to do it in the past, I don't know what I'm doing. That's why I've got Green Envy. I lean on the experts. With the rain And then the warmer temps in the springtime, that means crabgrass. That means weeds. That means everything overtaking your lawn, and your lawn can't be at its healthiest and its best and its greenest. That's why you got to call Green Envy. Again, that number is 636-655-3689. Their program's fantastic. They'll come out, they'll spray for weeds. If we get a lot of rain and things like that, and the weeds come back out in a short period of time, they'll come back out and respray it, no extra cost. The program has no hidden fees, no contract. They're open Monday through Friday. Give them a call, 636-655-3689, or visit greenenvylawns.com. It's Green Envy. It's Fastlane on 101 at ESPN. So, Kerry, you had seen a story that really broke last weekend, but you were thinking about it this morning, and you thought it kind of jogged a thought in your head about the Cardinals and potentially paying their own players when the time comes.
Yeah. So Vlad Guerrero got signed a huge deal, $500 million, $325 million signing bonus, but that the number in itself is the number that stuck out to me. So I wanted to do some research. I was like, oh, well, we often hear that the Cardinals, they don't spend big money, and they're usually, middle of the pack in terms of, payroll for their roster.
Spending, yeah.
So I went down the line, and I started in 2015 and excluded 2020. And the Cardinals, for the most part, are right on par with what the Blue Jays have spent. The Cardinals, a 10-year average for their payroll spending is 11.4, top third in the league. Mm-hmm. The Blue Jays is 11.7, top third in the league. So when I'm looking at that, I'm thinking to myself, well, if the Blue Jays finally, and not finally, the highest that they were at one point was number 3, and the lowest that they were in 2019 was 29. They were 67 and 95 that year.
Yeah,
they stunk, right? So there are a lot, and you had the Cardinals in 23 where they were 71 and 91, right? You had a season where the Cardinals had that as well. To me, I'm looking at those numbers, and I'm saying to myself, well, if the Blue Jays are willing to, I don't think it's not an inability. Mm-hmm. It's more of a willing to. When you have a great player, a guy that you don't want to leave your team, you don't want him to hit free agency, you don't want that number to grow even more. $500 million is a lot of money, but it ain't $700 million. Right?
Right.
And I don't know if he gets 700. I mean, that's the going number, it feels like at this point. But I'm looking at the Cardinals and saying to myself, at what point, if they have a player of the caliber of a Vlad Guerrero Jr., do they step out of this mindset of we can't afford it? We're not going to be able to do it. Because if that's the mindset that you have, you're going to lose some good players.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if that player is eventually Jordan Walker. I don't know if that player is Mason Wynn. I don't know if that player is Victor Scott. They probably don't profile to get that number because they're not going to hit the ball the way that maybe a Jordan Walker could. I don't know if that player is Nolan Gorman,
right,
who could profile to be that number if he performs at the level of a Vlad Guerrero Jr. Do the Cardinals have it in them, if and when that time arises, to shell out that type of money?
I think they do.
Do you think they will?
I mean, it depends. I mean, that type of money, I don't know. That type of money where it's like this.
But that's the going rate at this point. It's like the quarterback conversation.
Yeah.
But it's like the quarterback conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Does Kirk Cousins deserve $40 million?
Of course not.
Probably no. Does Sam Darnold deserve?
No. Okay, let's go back. Let's go back.
No.
Thank you.
Does Sam Darnold deserve 45? Does Baker but that's the number. So that's what you're going to get. And it doesn't matter whether or not you believe or I believe, that's the number that's out there now. So if you want to, continue to have that player, if you want to have that player on your roster, you're probably going to have to swim in those waters, or you're going to have to be really damn good in terms of scouting and developing and drafting guys that can replace that player is going to go get that $400-500 million contract.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right about the going rate and things like that. And now, just like the Broncos had to pay for it for a full year, the Falcons are going to have to pay for it for a full year. They're going to have to wear it. Though. They could, but they're going to have to wear it. Because now every move that they want to make after that signing is impacted.
Yeah.
So if it's one player for that amount of money, how many players are you not signing in following free agency periods because you gave that much money to one player? See, for me, it is about building a team. And I know that winning gets a lot harder when you don't have a player like Vlad Guerrero. I get it. But if you're the Blue Jays, how does this impact your spending for the foreseeable future? I'll give you another example. The day that the Brewers gave Christian Yelich that massive contract, I remember being on these airwaves, and I won't talk about the host that I was hosting with at the time, but I remember saying, this is going to be a problem for them down the road.
For the Brewers?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Because this is already a small market team that doesn't spend a lot, and they gave them a bunch of money. And the hosts at the time were like, no, it's not. The money's this, that, and the other thing. They can pay for this. They can afford it, whatever. I go, okay. And granted, the Brewers have won divisions, and they've been a good team. But how many players have they parted with because
they had a few?
I mean, Corbin Burns, they did not resign, right? They traded.
Josh
Hader. Williams, local product, Devin Williams. Everything gets impacted here. And I know the Cardinals aren't the Brewers, CD, but if Albert Pujols accepted their deal back in 2012, you're probably not being able to re-sign Waino. You're probably not going to re-sign Yachty. It impacts a lot of what you do. So for me, could they swim in these waters? Sure.
I don't agree with that, though. There's no salary cap. There's no reason. I mean, you can.
But they have a budget, and they're trying to make money.
And
That's
I think
just reality.
that number at some point is going to have to exceed the, 162, 178 million range. It's going to have to be 210, 215. If you have these players that you're going to have to keep on your roster at some point. Right, I think it's just the way of the times, and I think that those that don't adapt or adjust to the times get left in the past, and they don't have the success. This is not, this is vastly different from what it was in the 70s, 80s, 90s. Like the times have changed, and so have payrolls. And if your goal, you're either going to have to go the Braves route, which is sign them early, and you're taking a risk there, because you don't really have enough sample size to say this player is worth this amount of money.
Yeah.
Or you're going to have to wait and you're going to be paying much more. So pick your poison. Do you want to go with an unknown and say, I'm going to pay this guy $200 million and maybe it don't pan out the way you wanted to?
Yeah.
Or are you going to say, fast lane, and I got to wait. I'm going to wait. I don't trust that motto.
Yeah.
I'm going to wait, and I'm going to pay him $400 million when I could have paid him $200 3 years ago.
Yeah.
So but if you want to be competitive and you want to win championships with this, which this city is known for, this is what the expectation is. I'm sorry, but the people before you has set a standard, and the standard is the standard, and it must be met.
Sure.
So if it's not being met, then that's a problem, and that's why Busch Stadium is empty.
So I agree, and Ryan, you and Ryan are now in lockstep. So Ryan says in the snake pit, what do the profit margins look like? Let's be realistic. If we want to be realistic, let's be realistic. You have an ownership group that, to Ryan's point, can absolutely spend a ton of money. But you say, let's be realistic, so let's be realistic. You thinking that the Cardinals ownership is going to spend more is not realistic.
I don't disagree.
You can bitch and moan, you can protest, you can do whatever you want. You're not wrong. The DeWitts could spend triple what they're spending right now, but they won't. They're not going to. So us having this conversation about them, like, oh, they could. I know, but they won't. They're not going to. So where would you like to go now?
Well,
I mean, I hope they have a player like Vlad someday, but I hope they go the Braves motto, the Braves route, where they try to sign him early. They try to sign him early. If it works out, great. If it doesn't, at least you're not spending, $500 million. But some players won't take that deal.
Yeah, you're gonna have to get a little bit higher. That's just my thought process on it.
Yeah.
Thanks for being a Debbie Downer, Anthony.
Yeah. Way to ruin my hopes and dreams.
Oh, Ryan can be realistic, but I can't? Is that what you're saying?
No. Just saying thanks for being a Debbie Downer.
Appreciate it.
You know what they should do, Anthony?
Fire Ollie Marmol.
Oh, God. You guys.
College football rosters are changing. We'll explain what that is next on 101 ESPN.
Hey, it's Kerry Davis, and if you're a contractor or own a business that needs recycling, my good friends over at Scrap Mart Metals got you covered. They're tailor-made for your business to meet your schedule and your budget. They understand that job site cleanup for you contractors is often a mess. If you set up a business account with Scrap Mart to recycle that metal, it'll be one less thing you have to do during cleanup. You'd be amazed at how the scrap metals add up and how it can help your business's cash flow. If you own heavy equipment, you know time and time again it breaks down. You have to repair it over and over again. At some point, time will come to end your suffering, and Scrap Mart will help you. They will come get it out of your way. They'll haul your equipment to one of their locations and get you a check the same day. Or if you're a do-it-yourselfer, they have 3 convenient locations: Valley Park, Peevely, Jonesburg. If it's metal, they will buy it: copper, wire, brass, stainless steel, aluminum, batteries, electric motors, steel, cast iron, and more. It is recycling made easy. They offer a convenient drive-on scale, and you will always get the highest payout. You'll always get top dollar for your scrap metals. Visit them today at scrapmartmetals.com. My guy Lucas can talk to you about setting up a business account to get you rolling. That's scrapmartmetals.com.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. The Blues lose last night to the Edmonton Oilers by a final score of 4-3. They'll take on the Seattle Kraken on Saturday. Pregame for that one starts at 8. Puck drop is at 9. The Cardinals are off today. They'll take on the Philadelphia Phillies tomorrow, 7:15 first pitch, as Andre Palante will take the mound for the Cardinals going up against Aaron Nola. If you missed anything from today's show, including our interview with Chris Kerber, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com or check out the free Dobbs Tire and Auto Center's 101 ESPN mobile app. Just head to the podcast page and you'll find all of our interviews and full shows there. And it's all brought to you by the Schaefer Door Company. This Sports Center update is brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, an independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
It's Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Some changes are coming to college football rosters. In fact, the reduction, there's going to be a reduction in roster sizes. So my question to you, Carey, is somebody that played college football. Each school will have a max of 105 players. So how do you think that this is going to impact teams in terms of safety measures? Less people means the same amount of people practicing, but they're going to be practicing more.
Yeah. It definitely is. I mean, for football, the way that they have, kind of placed this high priority on player protection, this kind of dials that back a little bit. I mean, 105 people might seem like it's okay, but in comparison, you had some rosters that had 130, 140 kids on it.
Sure.
And now you're dialing that back by 30 or 40. It does kind of open you up for more injuries, more guys having more reps and taking less time off.
Right.
Because those are extra bodies that are able and available that are no longer going to be there. And I think the other thing that it does is it takes away the opportunity for walk-ons, because a lot of those kids could be walk-ons. And I was mentioning this earlier. You look at Mizzou and a kid like Cody Schrader. Had this rule been in place a few years ago, you might not have gotten your starting running back. Now, that's few and far between where a guy goes from walk-on to being the starting running back for an SEC program, but that does happen. I think the one thing that it also does is it limits the opportunity for high school kids. So, like, high school players, the window for playing big-time college football coming out of high school has shrunk tremendously, because a lot of these coaches and a lot of these schools would rather go in the transfer portal, which is oversaturated with way more kids than there are positions available, more spots available.
Seats taken.
Seats definitely taken. Like, you.
I just realized it's the way Carey says it. That's hilarious.
You are trying to find a place, a home, and there are no seats available. It's
right.
like, so I think what it does is it also hurts the high school kids, because now, college are less likely to look into the high schools, and they're going to go to a kid that's if I'm at Mizzou, I'm going to go to a kid that's at the University of Michigan that wants to transfer, or the University of Iowa that's thinking about transferring, or the University of Southern Miss, because he's already had that experience of playing college football, playing at the collegiate level. It just changes things. But this was done, if I'm understanding it correctly, is because of the lawsuit that was against the NCAA. The lawsuit that now they have to pay back money to players that played collegiate sports from 2016 to 2024.
Yeah.
So what they're basically trying to do is lower that number of people that they're going to have to pay money back to.
Yeah.
And so it always comes down to that. There are other measures that they're trying to put in place as well, as like a salary cap, essentially, of like $20.5 million for football, where this is all the money you can spend. So you can't have a team like Ohio State that pays $25-30 million, and then a team like Illinois that only pays $11 million.
Yeah.
Like, it's an unfair.
Do you like that?
I do.
You like that there's a...
I do.
Marcy! Did you see
I
it?
knew what I said the first time I said I do.
I didn't even know I had a trap. He walked right into it.
I did walk into it. The difference is I knew it when I said it. I was like, I do. Maybe not. Too late now.
Just go ahead and retell it for Marshy. So you like the fact that
there's a
Ohio
salary
State
cap.
won't have a huge gap to where Illinois is in terms of spending and things like that. So it's better for college football, no?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ohio State fan?
What's that?
Ohio State fan.
Yeah, well, no, he's the Illinois fan.
Well, no, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, you would think he'd be an Ohio State fan.
I'm an Illini.
Okay.
Through and through.
Yeah.
Bleed orange and blue. You better believe it, buddy.
Go ahead.
Oh, yeah.
Terry, you're making. No, in all seriousness, you were making a great point.
So there's a plan for a cap on how much each team can spend or each school can spend, which I think it does help in that regard. But for me, just the reduction in the number of players on the roster, again, we'll see how much it impacts or how much it changes things. Maybe it evens things out. Maybe you don't have some schools with more, better players hanging around and lingering around on the roster. I guess my question is the hard part for that, like I talked about the transfer portal, if you got to drop your roster from 140 kids to 105, where are those kids going? Where are those 35 kids going per school?
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Like
there's got to be enough programs. I mean, that you would think that there'd be a filter down effect.
Anthony,
no. D3, D2.
Because you can go D2, or D3 or FCS. But if you've been playing at the University of Missouri,
you're not going that far. But I mean,
no, you might, because if you're cut. Or if you're not on the current roster, where's you going? And maybe those kids are walking, but you could have kids that are on scholarship. They can't take your scholarship away technically, but they can tell you, hey, you don't want to. You
don't want to be here,
do you?
We're going to make it very difficult for you.
But they can't take your scholarship.
Okay.
But if you decide to, leave school, it's a wrap.
Gotcha.
Yep.
That's interesting. Yeah, I see what you're saying. In other news, Andrew Marsh is the new BK.
What do you do?
In what way?
You called Denver a wagon, and now Western Michigan's up 2-0 in this college hockey game.
Yeah, weird.
Or 1-0.
Maybe I don't like Denver, though.
Why is it 2-0? Did they score again?
I think they're just showing replays right now.
Yeah, I think it is 2-0 at the end of the second period.
Wow. Marshy. They got like 20 more shots on goal than the old Denver. What
Didn't you say? And I repeat, Denver's a wagon.
Bison?
Well, they are.
What's the name?
They're getting their butt kicked right now.
The Denver Pioneers. Didn't you take the Pioneers?
I did.
Yeah.
It'd suck if they lost.
Oh, wow.
What?
He wants them to lose.
He wants them to lose.
I think it's a win-win situation.
They are getting
getting worked.
They are getting worked by Anthony's second favorite team in the MAC.
Don't you dare. First of all, I don't have a second favorite team.
Even though there is no action in college hockey.
Even if I did, it wouldn't be Western Michigan.
They got 30 shots on goal.
Through 30
to 7?
That's a drubbing. All right, we'll wrap up the show next on 101 ESPN. missed anything from today's show, you can always download the podcast available at 101ESPN.com or your 101 ESPN Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers mobile app. All the podcasts brought to you by Schaefer Door Company. Time to find out what everybody learned today. What I learned is that Kerry Davis and I think alike. He, too, does not like the fact that it's not entertaining if all teams are not able to spend to the cap or the floor equally.
I was thoroughly entertained by the college football playoffs. First time ever. I learned that
you're a Buckeye fan now because they're the Dodgers of college football, but not for long.
I learned that the that door that has all of those nice things on there, it looks pretty good. Don't step on it. It's a trap door. Anthony said it for.
Oh, I didn't realize I said it.
Oh,
I said it actually a long time ago.
Yeah. Yep. He said it there.
Yep.
Is that a steak? Oh, I can get a steak.
Baked potato, too? What'd you learn, Marsh?
I learned that I might be in that category of psychotic fan that lives and dies by every game.
Yes, sir. I think so.
Or every 3-4 games.
That's okay.
It's all right.
Yeah, I think we did learn that today about Marsh. Marsh, he was hot earlier. He was
very upset.
He was.
I'm trying to I'm trying to cool down. I'm just so passionate, you know. Sometimes I overwork myself. Overwork the brain.
We did a 20-minute segment today.
We did.
21 minutes.
That was pretty interesting.
It was good.
Yeah.
I thought we learned a lot about each other. Chester says Mark's going to hurt somebody.
No, I'm not that type of person. I'll just have Carey do it.
There you go. Yep.
With pleasure.
You guys ready for the 3 stars of the day?
Always.
Yep. It's time for the Fast Lane's 3 stars of the day. Presented by Circus Sports Illinois. Sports betting the way it should be.
All right, our 3rd star of the day goes out to Coach Stalter.
Yeah, thank you, guys. Thank you. Yeah, appreciate you.
Yes.
Gary called me coach earlier. Or almost did.
2nd star of the day goes out to the ACT.
Oh,
the
man.
ACT, yes. Carey and I. Not good, Marsh. Much better.
Still not that great. 1st star of the day goes out to golf announcers.
Yeah. That was hilarious. We basically did every important call in St. Louis sports history.
You won't end the show like that.
But in the golf voice.
Bring out the Zamboni.
Yeah. Boom, boom, Gunnarsson. All right. That'll do it here for us in the Fast Lane. Everybody have a great night, Ed. For Andrew Marsh, for Kerry Davis, I'm Anthony Stalter, and we will see ya.